We're giving you an out.
It's doing it now.
Ruben, I don't have to take you out back and put you down. Just say it was the glare.
It's just dyslexia. The dyslexic motherfucker is not about to get on my
And the racism comes out.
If I read you the article title, Jenny Ortega abandons Wednesday set, Tim Burton production shuts down filming. What do you think the article's going to be about?
About Jenny Ortega abandoning the Wednesday set and that resulting in production shutting down?
I know, right? It sounds like a real fucking...
Like, sounds like they're shutting down the show.
Like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, I opened this article up and it was literally just about what to expect in season 2 and that production had wrapped up.
Oh, bruh.
And I have never seen clickbait that egregious before. That was...
The title was just a lie?
It's just a lie.
It was all a truth.
Yeah, wait, no, it wasn't a lie.
They're shutting down production for the year.
Yeah, it was just a very long stretch of what the truth is.
Oh, fuck, you're right. It's not a lie because she's leaving the set because they're done.
Yeah.
And they're shutting down filming because they're fucking... I'm gonna kill someone.
Like, I skimmed through this whole fucking thing and it's just about, hype for season fucking 2. That was actually the worst one I have ever seen.
Can you just go to their homepage real quick? I don't even want to say the name of this website.
That's fair.
That was funny.
What?
That's a real story. The one at the bottom there. Wicked fan sues Mattel over pornographic website mix-up.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. We talked about this, didn't you?
I remember
that's a real headline.
Did we talk about this?
I don't think we talked about it.
I don't think we talked about it. We might have talked about it in person at some point. It turns out Wicked.com is, in fact, already taken, Mattel.
Did we talk about this?
I know we talked about this, but I don't know if it was during the podcast.
I feel like it was
like 3 weeks ago. I have no memory of that.
Same.
So.
Yeah.
It has to have been like the package manufacturer was just like placeholder, Wicked.com or whatever it's going to be, HTTP. We'll figure that out later.
We'll deal with it later.
Then it just never got changed.
Yeah, and so it stayed Wicked.com once it went live. And as it turns out, Wicked.com was already taken.
Well, actually, did they win this suit?
I highly doubt the suit. I doubt
this
this suit would be wrapped up by now. Like this is pretty fresh.
Wicked was really good.
It was very good.
Y'all both seen the movie now?
Yeah, if you click on a film website, it is a porn website. Where does that take you?
It does this weird thing. So it just takes you to another article on the same website.
Okay.
I am going to say the name of this fucking website. It's called Inside the Magic. And I'm saying it because don't go to this fucking website. It has that Wednesday article upset me enough that I am going to give a negative fucking review.
We're going to stay outside the
You've got to bleep out the name now.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
You don't want to send them any.
But
Any
clicks. Check your fucking websites before you let them go live, or check your links and make sure, don't put wicked.com as the placeholder. Put placeholder.fucking-placeholder or wicked.placeholder or some stupid shit.
Check that too.
I guess check that too. Yeah.
Placeholder.placeholder.
Type in wicked.placeholder right now and tell us what you find.
Another porn site.
That's no fun. I always use Pornhub.com as my placeholder for everything.
Living on the edge.
Make sure you change it before you send it to the client.
Damn, they really got placeholder.com. One place to find your commercial real estate rental. Accredited by the Better Business Bureau.
Okay.
Amazing.
Fair enough.
They saw their opportunity.
And they took that bitch. Oh, which one did I want to read?
What? Okay, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I was looking at this and it looks like it's just a way to search Craigslist and Facebook.
Are you serious?
I know it's unclear to me what this company does, but Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, fair enough.
Is your TV trying to get us to move to the Mediterranean?
No, Windows is.
Oh,
I don't think that's the Mediterranean.
Spain?
Hold on, I
no
can tell
idea.
you.
Wait,
I can tell you
no.
right now.
You said Mediterranean. I heard Caribbean. That is the Mediterranean.
Is that the house that costs $1?
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the Mediterranean.
Is that the house that costs $1?
All right,
No, it's like 200,000.
Mediterranean. Where do you believe this is?
I said Mediterranean.
Oh, you said
Or
Mediterranean
Spain.
or Spain.
I don't think it's Spain.
Yeah, I think it's Mediterranean. I don't know if it's Spain, but it looks a lot like the coast of Sardinia, so it makes me think it's probably somewhere in the Mediterranean.
I don't know geography at all, but I think you guys are close with those guesses because this is Leros, Greece.
Leros, Greece. You're gonna have to save this picture now.
We're going to go here someday. We're going to get on Google Maps.
We
We're
have to
gonna
go find.
geoguesser it.
We have to go find this specific location with this specific angle and take this specific picture again.
With
That
all
would
of
be
us.
kind of fun, though.
We
That
got
will be
a
kinda
Guys, I
sick.
think I'm turning into a dog. When I look at that little house, I kind of want to pee on it.
Or mark your territory.
You know what?
claim it.
That seems like dog behavior. Maybe you are.
Yeah.
He got that dog in him.
Got that dog in him. Oh goodness.
But no, that sounds like
When
a
I
fun
say I
thing
got
to do.
that dog in me, this Calvin, like,
Do y'all want stories about weddings or stories about things or a story about Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, because that
It was just Thanksgiving.
holiday just passed. What did
Yeah.
you guys do for your Thanksgiving? Even if you're seeing this a little later than Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
post in the comments. We want to know.
You didn't have to throw that shade at me, motherfucker.
What? I don't know what he's talking about. But if you know, post in the comments.
When you see this in late March of 2025,
Post in the comments.
All right. Got some Reddit stories here. Am I the asshole for not allowing my husband's friend to bring her dog to Thanksgiving dinner? Yeah. So,
yes.
fair enough.
Immediately, yes.
My
Everybody
husband,
lets dog go.
Start. My husband asked if we could host Thanksgiving this year. We usually don't host because our apartment is small and we don't have guest parking, but he was really excited. We used to host events at our old place and it was fun. Most of our guests are friends and everyone agreed to bring a dish. One of his friends, let's call her Chelsea, volunteered to make the turkey. On Thanksgiving Day, one of his other friends asked if she could bring her cat. I said no pets because, as mentioned, we live in a small apartment and it's a dinner gathering. I don't think it would be comfortable for anyone, including the pets.
Wait, pause. Who brings
I'm
their...
going to stop you right now, white people.
I was like, wait, I can see a dog being... A cat?
I think a cat would normally be really uncomfortable with that if I understand cat behavior
Incredibly.
correctly.
They
Yeah.
hate like going in a car.
And
They
an
go into
animal
the car-
notorious for hating being around new
New people, specifically
Yeah.
new space, because they like adapt to their space and like adjust
it
to
takes
a new
a
physical
lot of
space.
time, which is true for
Something that-
most animals. It's true for humans in a lot of cases. But like cats are notorious for not liking strangers. And let me just
That
bring like even if all these people have been in their lives and have been around the cat enough for it to be familiar, it's like this cat is not going to like these people in an unfamiliar place. That's just going to be weird. And I think it's weird to want to invite your pet to someone else's house at base.
Yeah.
Like just at fucking base if you are not sleeping with the person that lives there.
I feel like even cats are so independent anyways. It's like
What the
you're just going to sleep at home.
the people, they want their pet there for them, not for the pet.
Yeah.
Like
True.
if we're being honest here. But it wouldn't be comfortable, yada yada yada, especially including the pets. My husband suggested we also let Chelsea know about our no pet rule, and I agreed. I was a bit hesitant though, because Chelsea is one of those people who likes to bring her dog everywhere. If she can't bring the dog, she arranges for a dog sitter. In the past, she has caused some tension when her dog wasn't allowed at other events. I told my husband to text her to check if she was planning on bringing her dog, as I didn't think it would be a good idea. I also offered to talk to her myself because my husband isn't as comfortable with confrontations. He texted her and she called afterward. He put her on speaker and I could tell she was upset from the tone of her voice. Chelsea told me she always brings her dog everywhere, and I pointed out that wasn't entirely true since we've been to several events when she didn't bring the dog, which is true. She then asked why we hadn't mentioned this before the invitation. I explained that I didn't think it was necessary to mention it since I assumed it was understood that bringing pets to a dinner without asking is typical, especially when we don't even have pets ourselves. At this point, she got upset and said, well, I guess you'll have Thanksgiving without a turkey then. I was surprised because it felt like she was trying to pressure me into letting her bring the dog, implying that she wouldn't come without it. I don't like being pressured, especially in my own home. So I calmly responded that I was sorry she felt that way. She then interrupted and said, no, I feel sorry for you since you won't have a turkey, and hung up. So am I the asshole for saying no to her bringing her dog? I feel like I was just setting a reasonable boundary, but now I'm second guessing myself.
No.
Firstly,
go ahead.
Firstly, turkey's not the fucking main star of Thanksgiving dinner. Let's be fucking real here. Unless that bitch was deep fried.
Deep fried master right here.
Unless Rueben made it.
Unless I made it. Unless I made that bitch. I don't give a fuck if that turkey ain't there because I wasn't going to eat it anyway.
Yeah, most turkey I've had in my life has been.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot about this Chelsea, but based on some, what I believe are reasonable assumptions, that turkey wasn't going to be good no matter what.
Yeah.
I think it was going to be dry and under-seasoned. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, I have an immediate feeling, which is no, obviously not. You're not the asshole for that is fucking weird. But the more I thought about it, actually, let me get y'all opinions first before I go into my spill.
I mean, it's Thanksgiving, right? And I mean, if the owners have pets, I guess the guests should expect those pets to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't, if I had a pet and, my friend had pets and they were inviting me over to their house or whatever for Thanksgiving, I wouldn't ask them if I could bring my pet. But maybe that's just because I'm not as attached to my pet like that. Like, it seems like Chelsea here is like
real attached to the dog.
This pet like he pays rent,
Really viewing this dog as like an extension of themselves.
Right.
So, I mean, me personally, I find that weird.
Right.
Strange.
But I guess I could see how people could be so attached to their pet to the point where it's like this. But
I know people like this. Fluff. Thoughts? Anything going on in here?
On the dog situation,
the
or
fucking
are you
story we're
accusing
talking
me?
about?
I'm talking with you guys about it. Have you not been hearing the words I've been saying out my mouth?
No,
the words that are coming out of my mouth.
I'm asking you, what are your thoughts on this fucking story? Quit acting like I accused you of everything. Quit making these people think I abuse you.
He does. When this camera goes on me, he does.
Help the fuck.
So I was just very confused about it because you said I know people that are like that in real life, and then you went.
I didn't realize I moved
Dominic?
right away from that fucking.
He's made us do this for a year.
I was like, wait, what?
Hostage.
I was like, no, because I would bring my dog to most.
They're two totally separate conversations.
Kenton, we had to change the subject before they find out what's going on.
No, I've already told them it's too late.
Oh no.
They forget I edit this shit. The world will never see this.
I can't.
They'll never know. Except our Patreons.
They're the only ones, but y'all pay for this shit. You can do it, I believe.
Wild shit is.
Yes.
I was trying to figure out how to make a bondage joke there, but
fair enough.
No, it didn't really come together.
That's where the gimp suits come in.
I see what you did there. It
didn't really come
together. I see what you did there. The bondage. Okay.
Yep.
Come together.
Bondage.
Because I used to bring my dog to everything my family did.
Right.
I would bring my dog to all family events, but that was because I always knew that there would be other dogs at that of those events because all of my family has dogs,
and they're also your family.
Yeah, and they're my family. I know that, but like, I would not be bringing my dog over to like a shy's house or something like that. Like that would be
even knowing she would love. Like, would not mind having Gizmo.
Yeah, I don't think she would mind. It would be interesting to see how her dog and my dog got along. I'm sure, like, if I really asked, if I was like really on it, it would be fine because they got space, they got a house. But like, if she said no, I would say okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd say no. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I guess we can't be friends anymore.
You ain't getting the turkey then.
Yeah, like. Immediately my thought is like, yeah, that's fucking weird. Don't just like bring your, like, I get it. Everyone, like, there's people who have like the little teacup and if that's the one thing at least when I was looking through comments and like reading this earlier, I never found out what kind of dog it was.
Like if it's a lap dog, like just.
And if it's a little teacup stays in her purse.
If it's a
who gives a shit, right? Like who cares, right?
But if it's big dog, woof woof,
like big dog, or even like a moderately sized, like moderately sized, like a little dog, where it's like it has to like be down, and if it's a friendly, like jumping on people type shit, like that's weird. Like
there's a dick joke in there,
but it's even in like this specific scenario where it's like. She has that friend with a cat, and it's like, sure, the cats could be small, but even then, she's just like, no, because if we allow even the cutest, tiniest, friendliest pet in, then other people are like, well, shit.
We're gonna bring on our goldfishes now.
I think goldfish is more appropriate at this point. Than
I could have brought Nemo,
my emotional support hamster,
right?
Like brought Sid, my sloth.
Sid, my.
To go
all sloths have to be named Sid. Well, like so, So my
got
immediate
a prescription for emotional support hamster.
Yes, this is apparently it's pretty easy to do. It's like $99, and that's pretty much it to get an emotional support animal.
Yeah,
I was referring more to just like accidentally killing your hamster weekly because of how emotional you are and how much you were trying to. Support your emotions.
I was gonna say
that's the joke. That's the joke I was making.
I mean, I think it served its purpose there. That it emotionally supported you in that moment, and now it can support you no longer. So I mean, there's that.
Did the thing.
But wait, so it's like you just pay for the emotional support classification, and then you can bring your rat with you anywhere.
For the most part, yeah,
pretty much.
There's supposed to be like organizations that you still have to give like medical reason.
Yeah, to
have it, but
Enzo is MJ's emotional support animal.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
like
mom's dog is not her.
Oh.
Actually, I have to ask my mom about that.
Like that's how he's able to, kind of be with us right now at a discounted price.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't be putting your crimes out on the internet.
Too late for that.
The thing is, though, it's actually true. She needs that dog.
She do. She do. Yeah, so
fatty boy. So you said you were starting to have mixed thoughts about this, though.
Not fully mixed thoughts. I think my end point is still like it's unreasonable to expect to have your dog here. But she does mention the part where she mentions it is well known that this friend brings her dog everywhere. Mm-hmm. That is what causes the mixed thought.
Well, you're like, she was specifically trying not to mention it because she wanted to create the tension, but she always knew that this was going to be a problem.
You knew, like, it is not unreasonable. The assertion that you shouldn't default to bring your pets to someone's house is not necessary. Is like, I think we would all agree with. But when you add the information that she always brings this pet everywhere, that's where it becomes a little different.
And like the friends that are also invited to this also know this fact.
Right.
Like when she said her husband brought it up and she already was thinking about it.
Yeah. And it was like that. So it really it becomes the thing of knowing this fact. Why was it on Thanksgiving Day we decide to have this conversation?
Wait, they waited till Thanksgiving Day?
So she waited, and they would never have even talked to her about it if the other friend hadn't asked about the cat.
So from what I got in the beginning, I thought the invitation said no pets.
Oh wait, no, she said
No.
Invitations don't mention anything about pets.
Yeah, on Thanksgiving Day, one of her friends. Oh my God, you're right. They do wait on Thanksgiving Day to do that.
She asked if she could bring her cat.
I would also not be showing up with my turkey, especially if I usually arrange a dog sitter for my dog or something like that. And also on Thanksgiving Day, who's going to dog sit for you?
Like, how are you going to get that dog sitter at that point?
Yeah, no, like
that's like saying no kids on the wedding, the day of the wedding.
The day of the wedding is like, there is a lot that goes into getting care or whatever the fuck. Whether or not, like, once again, I don't know if this is even the type of dog that needs this kind of level of care.
That's what makes it hard, because it's like, what is this dog?
I am very.
Does it actually need supervision all the time? Like, is this a dog that needs help, or is this just a person who
is she just projecting a lot of
who is socially dependent on this dog for all of her encounters?
Like, it becomes a thing of, you're not an asshole for not wanting pets in this space at this time. I don't think that's. I think any reasonable person would say, yeah, no, you're not a fucking asshole
for setting that boundary on the day,
knowing this about this person.
Yeah.
So like it was one where it's like, I thought it was pretty clear cut, and I'm still.
Well, it's not an unreasonable boundary, but it is unreasonable timing.
It is unreasonable timing when you know that this was going to be a problem. Like, not taking care of a problem that you know is going to be a problem because it shouldn't be a problem.
Because it sounds like Chelsea's not brought her dog to things before. You just got to communicate with her about it.
It's like when she has ample time to plan. Like, when you have time to plan. Now, granted, we don't know how she would have reacted if she even found this out before when she got the invite. Well, maybe she would have acted different.
Maybe she would have been mad, but like...
Well, I think, didn't she say in that she always gets a sitter?
Yeah.
She said she sometimes has gotten a sitter for some things.
I think if she had known before or at the time that she got the invite, I don't think it would be really a problem. But if the poster...
It sounds like it has been a problem in the past, regardless of... Like, she says she's created tension because of it in the past.
Yeah.
So we don't have specifics on that, but
yeah. From Chelsea's perspective, if I got an invite that said specifically in bold letters, no pets allowed, and knowing that the people she's inviting are the people we typically go out with or whatever, and I'm usually the only one that brings my pet places, I would maybe feel a little bit like isolated and attacked a little bit, being like, oh, so you're talking about me, and you're saying, I can't bring my dog?
Quite frankly,
but like...
Yeah. Motherfucker, because you're the only person that makes us apply this rule, so I'm sorry, but it's the same as having to put the don't put the plastic bag over your head sign on the plastic bag after motherfucker nearly suffocated himself with the plastic bag. You know what? Yeah, we are talking about you because you made us make this rule. Motherfucker.
Right. So it's like, me as me, who isn't Chelsea, I'm like, that is reasonable, and because you sent that out with the invite, I have time now to get a sitter or whatever. But that's me. I'm not Chelsea.
From what we can tell, Chelsea is not so unreasonable that she will not make the accommodation. Right? Is the fact that she has done it before, and she has done it for things.
Benefit of the doubt,
because OP has said as much as that she has done that if there have been events where she didn't bring the dog, and because she couldn't bring the dog for whatever reason, she never says what those events are. She never says why she couldn't bring the dog. We just know that there were events in the past where she did not bring the dog. But it is clear that she brings the dog as much as she is going to get away with, and that's her default state.
Yeah.
Do I think that's whacked out as fuck? A little bit. I still don't think it's reasonable to just invite your pet over to people's like dwelling places. This isn't like going like when you run out to fucking errands and you have your dog with you all the time.
But this seems like a key feature of this person. You should probably like mention it in the invitation,
right?
Well beforehand.
It's that thing of if we are planning dinners and shit. And I know you, every time you come over, even though this is 100% untrue and it saddens me, Bailey, but I know every time you come over, Bailey comes with you. You bring Bailey with you every fucking time. And I decide, or say it again?
You decided no significant others for
no, and I decided no significant other thing. But I tell you the day, like you're on your way here, and I go, oh, by the way, no significant others. make sure Bailey's not coming and she's already fucking with you. It's like there's one thing to be said about reasonable expectations, but this is beyond expectations at this point. We know this is, I forget which one of y'all just said it, but we know that this is a feature of this person.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not handling this like adults in a timely manner?
Yeah. So, like, essentially, at the end of the day, no, you are not the asshole for
not wanting pets in this small space. But you should have added that to the invite and let everybody know and made sure everybody knew. Yeah. Right away that no pets were allowed. Or even if it was going to be a private conversation, you knew this about Chelsea. Mm-hmm. Let it be a private conversation. But you had, like, y'all had a chance to y'all dropped the ball on this one. And I still think Chelsea's unreasonable. Like, oh yeah. Like, I still think that at the very least, you at least drop the turkey off, even if you choose not to stay. But I think the temper tantrum of, guess y'all won't be having a turkey then. Yeah, that's a bit much. But y'all, you got a little bit of blame here too, OP. Mm-hmm. But
they would be giving my turkey for shit. You tell me beforehand if you want my turkey.
I'll just load up on them mac and cheese.
Right? Bruh. Once again, that turkey was not going to be the main star of that fucking dish. It is, until I started deep frying turkeys, honestly, ham was a much better choice for Thanksgiving, in my opinion. But
that's me. Ham's good. My dad does prime rib.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty fucking good.
I need that invite.
Bro. Yeah, what the fuck, bro? What happened?
Holding out on us?
I gave you guys the invite. Not this year, but
I was about to say. No,
we don't need the invite. We'll just invade.
No, actually,
we probably could have just
straight up forgot to talk to you guys about Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I usually try to stop by your houses and say hi to everybody, but
yes,
I didn't. It wasn't this year. Instead,
speaking of, Mama Ren says hello, as well as Aunt Sandra, and they said they miss you.
Mm-hmm, I didn't go see her and say hi.
Yeah, that was one where she was ultimately voted not the asshole, because I think it's still the overarching, like, just on the societal level, don't invite your own fucking pets to somebody else's house.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a major asterisk and caveat that says you're a little bit of an asshole for waiting till the day of. I get husband, it doesn't like confrontation, but you clearly don't mind it. As well as, once again, this had more to do with, like, shit timing than it did the principle of the matter. Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, like you drop the ball, OP. Y'all dropped the ball on this one.
They're both kind of assholes.
Everyone's the asshole here.
Just a little bit.
You're an asshole.
Got him. I
need lotion for that.
God damn it. Forget the lube. We need lotion.
Here is was this one wild? No, this one wasn't really wild. I did have a wild one in here. I gotta find it again. But
Two Hot Takes.
Yeah, so Two Hot Takes is it's a subreddit that I believe is so Two Hot Takes is a podcast, and they do a lot of Reddit stories. People send them direct stories, but it's a good place to get like some Reddit stuff, and as well as like people seeking advice, kind of am I the asshole questions, kind of seeking relationship advice questions, shit like that. So this one is, hey THT fam, I'd like more people's reactions to this convo because I'm perplexed. So this screenshot is from my mom messaging her. This is where it got real confusing for me to read it. My mom messaging her currently 3-year husband, in parentheses, 21-ish plus son, happy birthday on his birthday. The mom is messaging her stepson. That's all you had to say.
Okay. All right.
She decided to say that in the most confusing way I have ever seen.
Yeah, I thought she was, never mind.
Right, is messaging her current husband's son. And then his response. I'm going to read this first. It's very, very, very short. Happy birthday, and I hope you have a great day. And then so that's the mom. The son replies, the stepson replies,
happy birthday, son.
Right? Happy birthday, stepson. I hope you have a great day. They reply, officially, I discourage insincerity and I certainly disapprove of virtue signaling. If you find yourself insistent still, ask dad if I play nice. Protect your peace, stepmom.
What?
It seems real fucking nasty, doesn't it? So the caption, so like, should my mom even respond? I'm all for the new social terms and self-help speaking your truth, but not gonna lie, I had to reread his message a couple times to fully understand. The funny part is, Usually in parentheses, this is a post edit. I don't know if this is a post edit or not, but she throws in some extra info that's kind of fucking important to this whole thing. Extra info. Son and father have always had an estranged relationship, and that makes my mom sad. / she wishes it wasn't like that. My mom and the son have never gotten into any arguments or spats previously for them to have anything personal against each other.
Okay, things immediately make significantly more sense.
It makes that bit of info made such a big difference to this.
It adds the context we need to understand what the response should be.
I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are before we dive too deep into the comments.
It feels like I think this guy's frustration seems a little bit misdirected, but I also understand just being like, I don't want to communicate with you or my dad. I just don't want that in my life. Like I get putting that hammer down, putting that boundary up.
Let's go on and let's cut the bullshit.
I wish there was more info that we could get from this, but
right.
Because all I'm looking at and seeing and being like, I'm just like, well,
see, but
it
now
is what it is, I guess.
Now that I look at this, I'm more confused about why the poster is confused.
Right? Like, why are you confused? Because she's the mother's daughter. Okay. Like her allegiances lie with who they lie with, the same way his grievances lie with who they lie with.
No, I still, if my mom, if my dad went like that and she married somebody else and he was a shitty person and then his son, or they didn't get along or whatever, I would give my mom the same advice. I would say that makes a lot of sense and that she should probably just not.
Well, you're a reasonable person. No, I
give my mom that advice in other areas for life as well.
Right? Same. Like sometimes leave people alone. What were you saying? Like I think you had more.
No, honestly, I was just like, I don't think I would suggest her write anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's mainly because I don't know what the situation is or whether or not they, like the mom and the son, like I don't know what their last interaction even was.
So,
but like,
the mom is, I might respond if I was the mom and I was very like deeply sincere about my desire to like connect or reach out or something like that. But
on the same merit, I have a very good loving relationship with both of my parents, right? I don't know what the feeling of being estranged from any kind of relationship is like. Like all my siblings, I have a very strong bond with them. Both my parents, most of my fucking family. I don't know what this is like, so I have to make a lot of guesses and assumptions here. But if someone's estranged from their father, and they have always been estranged, and OP does comment at some point that they've been estranged even before the mom was in the picture, right? There's something that happened between that son and that father that at least the son believes, and possibly the father as well, just believes is not reconcilable. And it was better for them to just go their separate ways completely than like pretend to be cordial or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. If someone is already at that point with their parent, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the comment immediately.
Well, so then she's married to the parent and she would technically be his
she's his
stepmom.
Yes.
But it's
the estranged with the estranged father.
Basically, you're a stranger unless they did they live with each other, know each other?
That's the part I don't think we ever really get an answer to, or at least I never saw an answer for. So he's about 21-ish at this point. She's been with the husband for about 3 years. Now, it's a good possibility that he has lived with his mother the whole time. That's just kind of, I don't know if this happens this is in America or not, but if this is in America, that's usually the arrangement that it goes. But we're at a point now. So what kind of struck me is that in her extra info, she says, my mom and the son have never gotten into any arguments or spats previously for them to have anything personal against each other.
That's where I'm hung up too.
Because that to me implies that they've had contact of some sort.
Yeah, it implies some level of interaction.
Right.
But at the same time, if I look at when we look at the text message,
that's the first text she's ever sent to him.
She's ever sent to him.
As we can only assume from this.
Or she deletes her texts.
Or he has a new number, or any other random bullshit.
There are a lot of different ways, but it's weird.
But I will tell y'all what because I did comment on this earlier. I was like, that implies y'all had some level of contact. And I can 100, and I would love to know what those conversations were like. Because I can 100% see a world in which every conversation he'd had with her in person was about him reconciling with his dad, or possibly reconciling with his dad. And he nodded and smiled and nodded along, because most of us know the social contract of being in person. And if they were, considering he's estranged from his dad, the fact that they were in a situation to talk with each other, it was probably some kind of family event or some kind of get together or some sort that I can assume. So he was in a situation where it's like, he doesn't want to make a scene. I'm just going to nod, smile along. And this text was his boundary. Like, this is where you're now overstepping. Because I will play nice with you in person. I know this because I'm like this. I will play nice to you to your face because we're in a social situation. I don't want to make this rude for anybody else. Do not fucking text me. Just don't text me. Do not try to contact me. No phone conversation, no phone calls. I don't want it, because a lot of times, and maybe it's just a me thing. I feel like this is like a pretty common. There's something very personal, spacious about like your text messaging and like your phone conversations and your phone number and shit like that, of like, there's much more of like a invading of personal space that happens when you just message somebody that's not expecting you to message them. I feel like, especially with text, like, y'all know how I hate, I don't like my number being all over the fucking place. And if I didn't give my number out, don't give my number out. Like, people know that about me, and I go out of my way to avoid calling and texting people.
So here's Blitz's number.
If you call that number, you'll get a special surprise.
A big fuck you. No, we love you, please. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I can 100% see this being a message of don't take the fact that I haven't blown up on you as a sign that I want to be hearing from you like this. Even a message as, honestly, fucking, what's the word? I almost said milquetoast, and I don't think that's really the word I want to go with. That is the most like generic, like office talk, non-affiliated, happy birthday, insert name, I hope you have a great day, is all she texted.
It's beige.
It's beige. Like, it is fucking beige. And I can see the world in which, like, his response does seem kind of over the top, but I can also see the world in which that's why he responded that way.
Yeah, well, I can see a world in which, like, let's say his dad reached out first.
Yeah.
His dad sent over a happy birthday thing, and you're like, you don't fucking mean
like
that.
don't fucking do this with me.
And
I
then
don't want
you
to play
get
this.
from the mom as well, and you're like, look, I don't need this.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Well, in the way he's writing, I don't know if this is just like how he's writing, but clearly this to me is an emotional reaction.
Yeah.
And it reads like somebody who's not actually thinking through what they want in this. Like, he never says, don't text me. He never says, like, I'm putting up a boundary. He doesn't say shit like that. He's like, he says, I discourage insincerity. There's a preview. Like, he feels like he's writing just because he's like, I feel like you're spitting bullshit at me, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, there's the other fun part of, if you find yourself insistent, still ask. I'm assuming dad's name. This is blanked out if you're not looking at the screen. I'm assuming this is dad's name, but ask dad if I play nice. Like, whatever this is, whatever we're seeing is not the only. That's not it to this whole situation, and I 100% do not believe this is all it is. Like I said, my brain went to, you nag him a lot, or not necessarily nag, but you push way too often about a relationship he's told you he doesn't want, and like the husband has probably shown he doesn't want either. And you don't get to be sad about an estranged relationship that ain't got shit to do with you, lady.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if that is your husband, that's your stepson. Now get the fuck over it. A grown man doesn't want shit to do with another grown man. And you at a certain point, Just say you understand and move the fuck on. Say you're sad. Sure. Say, hey, I wish that y'all could reconcile. I would like to get to know you as my new stepson, but I understand. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what went down, but I get that you clearly don't want to reconcile. So I just want to wish you happy birthday. Nothing more to that. Have a great day. But yeah, like there was a few people that were arguing like that this is just like an edgy wannabe teen and spoiled brat who like needs to get over himself, and it's like,
they can go fuck themselves,
right? Go fuck yourself. And then there was people that were like, I'm estranged from a parent, and I can tell you right now that there's no level of cordial you can be as an estranged parent's spouse, new spouse at that. Like, you don't get to just get like your interaction with this child. It doesn't get to be cordial, because no matter how you want to slice it, there's some level of deep trauma going on here that is going to color every interaction, and you picked your side. Even if you didn't know that you were picking a side, you picked your side by being married to the motherfucker. If this kid and that dad, fuck, let's say,
I'm more worried for the mom after reading this. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Protect your peace is
that protects
kind of wild.
It is wild, but what it said to me, and this is a massive read, like just deep read. The information I pulled out of just that protect your peace, whatever her name was, that is a white woman married to a black man with a black stepson. Oh, Susan, you done married yourself into a situation you need to keep your nose out of. I have no evidence to back this up. I have no other way other than just to say it's a feeling. That's it. But that just made me chuckle as I was finishing up reading it.
Why did I think the same thing?
Did you? Like, it feels like it, doesn't it?
And it feels like a white daughter too, being like, I'm confused.
Oh, that daughter's absolutely white. I'm
confused.
Absolutely white. Why is he so mean to my mom?
She's just trying to
motherfucker, because she's from the camp of a man that is his op. like it or not, he don't like that man, and he ain't gonna like nobody associated with him.
Nah, they not like them.
They're not like Crip walking on the dad's fucking photo. Yeah, whatever the fuck that is, lady, leave him the fuck alone. And a lot of people shared that sentiment. Mostly it was like, it means don't text him again. Like, don't text me again, run through a thesaurus. Honestly, if your mom's current husband is estranged from his son, I think she should let it be. I'm estranged from my mom, and we have our reasons, and I have been subjected to well-meaning family trying to mend the bridge for me. Someone responds to that with this exactly. I'm estranged from my sister, and if I got a birthday text from her girlfriend, even if she wasn't involved in the inciting incident that started the estrangement, I would be pissed. I would assume it was an opening to slither back into my life or let me know how much my sister has changed and needs me. Even if I believed it to be fully benevolent, I would be suspicious of her connection to the person I'm estranged from. And the logical theory that everything she knows about the estrangement comes from the person who is, at best, extremely biased about the situation. It's not rejecting basic kindness, it's self-preservation, likely with a heavy dose of trauma response from whatever caused the estrangement in the first place. Like that, and that really sums up my feelings on it pretty much to a T. Like, if we're at the point of this is an estranged relationship, there's something that happened in that past that you don't just get to overlook and be, because you want to play stepmom and you want to blame mom so bad. And unfortunately, in a situation like this, there's nothing you get to do that isn't viewed as a negative by this kid. Like, him and the father are not in a neutral place. They are in a wholly negative place.
Can't Hallmark Channel this one.
Yeah. You can't Hallmark Channel this one.
No.
So that was one I read that I was like, man, that's okay. All right. Oof.
Brutal.
I wouldn't want to be in that situation. That sucks, but hey, life is life. Let's do one more here. I know I had two wedding ones, and they're both really stupid. Like they're both extremely stupid. Well, not stupid. Actually, one of them is sadder than it is stupid.
Smooth side, we go with the first one. Rough side, we go with the second one.
There's a rough side?
Yeah.
It changed.
Rough side and smooth.
What was rough again?
I don't remember. Go with
Rewind it back. Rewind it back.
I guess we're doing the first one. Here's to hoping that lines up. And we'll do the other one next week. Oh, yeah. I guess that would make sense. Either way.
Anyways.
Probably. So this is from Best of Reddit Updates. I think the original came from Ariel's. Ariel's is if y'all don't know, Ariel is the acrobatics thing where you're like flying on silks, I believe, and you're doing the stuff, or it's the one with it's an acrobatics thing. That's as much as I know. Could I find out what Ariel's is very quickly, right quick? Wasn't fast enough. Flies of the circus, welcome to Ariel's, coming yada yada yada. Yeah, they're not going to teach me what Ariel's is. Oh, okay, it's the ring thing where they're like doing stuff in the giant ring suspended from ropes and cables and shit.
Oh,
It looks like it also includes like the ribbon of fabric where they like twist it around their body.
Oh, so does it include? Okay,
so it looks like it's probably like several different things.
But. Yeah, I think one of them is specifically called silks or some shit like that, or silk dancing. But anyway, it was included there because that is very important to this entire story. So my 49 female cousin, 23 female, asked my daughter, 16 female, to perform at her wedding reception, but became bitter upon seeing the positive reception to her act. She has since posted about her online, and my daughter is considering quitting.
Damn.
Yeah. Let's see. Heather. So the original post. Why is it so small? What are you doing? There we go. I hope this is okay to share here. The reason I'm posting is because of my daughter who's been hurting in the aftermath of a recent performance. I'm sorry in advance for how long this turned out, but any advice from fellow aerialists will be greatly appreciated. My cousin Donna, not her real name, had a wedding 2 weeks ago, and she asked if my daughter could perform at her reception. My daughter, Jane, has practiced silks lyra. Oh, it is silks. Okay, I thought I remembered that. Silk/lyra for the past few years at a nearby circus studio, and she's also performed through the studio at small gigs. She hopes to continue into adulthood and become a professional teacher, but this recent incident has shaken her confidence. She has a private Instagram to document her progress/performances, and I only post certain performances on my Facebook, such as like her first gig with the studio and her first recital, to name a few we're proud of. Some of our relatives saw her performances through my socials, and they watched a performance at her studio's Christmas recital when we hosted Christmas at our home a few years ago. Something that surprised her when they visited early to see her. I love how they coordinated that, and Jane said that is so unnecessary to this fucking story. Donna was one of the relatives who came up early to see her Christmas recital, and she's always been super supportive. She asked me if Jane would be willing to perform at the reception, and I asked on her behalf. Jane was honored and excited when I did, and we already had a portable rig for her too, though we ended up renting a taller one from her studio. Donna got the idea from a YouTube video featuring an aerialist who performed at a wedding reception, and she showed us while requesting white silks and a white outfit. She scoped out the venue and purchased white silks along with a white costume that Donna approved of, and Jane was really excited throughout. Jane even worked on choreography to a song that Donna requested, and she put a lot of time into it, even asking one of her coaches to help her with it. Donna insisted on paying her for the gig despite Jane not expecting to be paid, and she paid her a few hundred. However, Donna's had a change of heart. Jane received a standing ovation after her performance that surprised her, but we didn't know anything was wrong until Donna went on Facebook a few days later. Donna said she didn't approve of the outfit Jane wore, and that she specifically told her not to wear white. What? She also said my husband and I pressured her to have Jane perform, and that the performance gave off an unclassy vibe. Lies that my husband and I couldn't believe. We sent Donna numerous costume links and we purchased the ones she liked. There was also nothing wrong with Jane's performance. Donna was one of the people cheering afterward. Jane received nothing but compliments afterward, but I'm disgusted that she had to see that post after all the work she put into it. The post also had comments disabled for what it's worth. I called Donna to confront her about the lies, but she didn't pick up numerous calls. I then called her parents who, like us, had received messages about her post, and they said that Donna was wrong. They apologized on her behalf and said they were also disgusted. Donna's mom also said that Donna vented to her before making her post a few days after the reception. Donna told her she regretted asking Jane to perform given the attention, all the compliments and cheers she received for it. Her mom also said that she felt upstaged, that she felt upstaged with Jane wearing white and having to hear how good she was. Donna's parents tried to call her after she made her post, but she didn't answer after their previous conversation ended with her parents telling her she shouldn't be bitter because she specifically asked Jane to perform. Donna's parents reported the post along with us/others, and we've told the truth to those who reached out along with a post to explain our side/stand up for Jane. We had text proof of sending costume links that Donna chose from. Donna's parents also requested to talk to Jane on the phone to apologize for Donna's behavior, and my husband and I told Jane that Donna was wrong and that we'll be distancing ourselves from Donna permanently. Donna's parents were surprised by her behavior, and we were too, having seen her grow up. Granted, we only see extended family for Thanksgiving and Christmas because we live far, but other relatives were surprised too, as it seemed to come from left field. Maybe there's a side of Donna we'll never know from our limited holiday/milestone interactions, but our focus is Jane. We tried to cheer up Jane by offering to take her to dinner among other activities, but she's been hurting, which is why I'm here. Jane hasn't practiced at home or at the studio since the reception, and I don't want to invade her space at her studio by asking or telling anyone there, in case she doesn't want anyone to know. She asked me to return the white silks and costume after being so excited to receive them. She also said she's going to take an extended break from Ariel to reconsider if she wants to continue. Aside from Ariel, she's taking a break from seeing non-Ariel friends too, choosing to pretty much keep to herself. We would appreciate any advice from fellow Arielists on how to lift her spirits. We reminded her. We reminded her of how we're proud of her, along with the many compliments she received, but she's asked for space and to not talk about it. We're going to respect that and let time do its thing, but we'll consider any advice from other Arielists on who can relate to the time and work she put in. Sorry for this being so long, but we appreciate anyone who reads and takes the time to reply.
There's a video response?
Well, there's a video of this is the reference that Donna was going off of. So the lady who got married, this is what she saw that she made her want to get an Arielist. Which, holy shit, by the way.
That's really cool.
That is crazy. Cool. So it is the silk she does. She does the silk stuff.
Okay, so that's what that makes sense. I thought that it was Donna posting a video in response.
No. This is just a thing.
What the fuck, Donna?
What the shit, Donna?
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
All right, I have a prediction.
Okay.
The husband said something and they're going to get divorced.
When you said the husband said something, what do you mean?
I think the husband said something, made a comment about Jane, either looking nice or looking good, doing a good job, something that made Donna jealous. Mm-hmm. And I think that Donna's marriage is going to crumble.
Fair enough.
Okay, pretty good.
It's giving untold jealousy. It's giving somebody that doesn't know when to shut their mouth, and it's giving fragility.
Yeah. Like being that pissed off that someone got attention for performing at the thing you wanted them to perform at.
I want to know what she thought would happen after someone did something really, really cool like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like something that was so like captivating, attention. You know, sure.
She thought that everyone would understand that it's her day, and that she should be the only one getting claps that day. and clapped that day.
The audience should have turned around and clapped for her because she
made the choice.
Yeah, for her choice in entertainment.
Yeah, and clap for me. Like, I told her to perform.
How dare you upstage me and get all the solo attention by doing this routine solely that I asked you to do at my fucking reception?
How dare you?
How dare you upstage me?
And going to the point to literally make shit up about it to smear.
That was the part that got me. Was like, I'm fucking sorry. Like, you told her to wear white. You picked white.
Thinking about it now, what if that Donna, right? What if Donna saw that Christmas performance and was just made a comment just to seem like she was being supportive in that time after seeing that performance, was like, oh, maybe she should do, a dance at my wedding coming up soon. That'd be cool. That'd be great. And then the mom of what are their names again?
Jane is the daughter.
Yeah, and then the mom of Jane was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll ask her. And then maybe Donna didn't think that was a serious ask, like that would be a serious thing that would happen.
Uh-huh.
And then the mom actually did ask her, and then actually did get
Jane
excited. And so, like, now Donna feels like, oh, well, now I have to do it, and I can't crush this girl's dream. So yay, sure.
Uh-huh.
And then just kind of signed off on everything, whatever, however. It's like, sure, you can wear that, whatever. Yeah, you can do this song. Here, do this song. Yeah, I guess, this video is kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, kind of like this. Sure, whatever, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when it happened, she was like, okay, yeah, no, this was definitely a mistake. I should have said something earlier. Fuck all y'all.
So what?
Your back feel better? Like your legs feel good now?
What?
Because that was a hell of a stretch, bro.
Oh, no.
That was a hell of a stretch. Holy shit.
You had to take us on a fucking journey.
That was a lot of possibilities and what ifs.
That's just so many what ifs, and it's literally not supported by any of the facts we're given at all.
Right? Even if I wanted
devil's advocate
a little bit. Even if I wanted to believe that there's so many parts in which you just kind of go, like, even if like you weren't being serious about it, you don't let her choose white if it's really going to bother you.
Right.
You just probably also just go, I wasn't serious about that. We don't have room in the fucking schedule to put that in for the reception. Sorry. Even if you like pussyfoot around it and go like, oh man, I don't think we're gonna be able to put you in there.
You can't bear to take responsibility for your own choices and desires. You can just say if my fucking wedding planner did something or
right?
Something stupid like that.
Like if we really wanted to believe that this was just a horrible misunderstanding, there were too many ways to handle this other than lying about the 16-year-old on Facebook.
And even if everything you said was true, what the fuck? That response is still so disproportionate and inappropriate.
Response was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
I hate how much it has clearly crushed this girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sucks.
Devil's advocate again. What if
she's not crushing? Right. She really likes it. Like, what the fuck are you gonna say?
Jane really gets off on this and has one thing about herself.
Like, what the heck?
What if this girl did always enjoy Eric? She enjoyed it. But what if she was feeling a little bit tired?
I'm gonna kill you.
What if she was just like, this is fun, but like
I'm leaving.
I kinda into this new thing now, I don't know, Fortnite. Fortnite stuff. I kinda wanna play more Fortnite,
trying to get down.
No, wait.
No, keep going.
I'm sorry that you're trapped.
You keep talking. You keep going.
You don't have to pause it.
Yeah. No, keep going.
Okay, well, what if?
They're still listening. We're listening.
Okay, what if? Bear with. Listen, audience. I know you're still here. Listen. Come in close. Come here. What if?
Fuck you ass.
Yeah, zoom in on me. Come.
Piss off.
What if she was just tired? And it's like, this is fun, and I'm just a little tired. Maybe I do need a little bit of a break to think about like this next phase in life, like what I want. And then you get asked by your mom, it's like, hey, Donna has a wedding coming up, and she loved your performance for the. Will you be willing to do a performance at her wedding? And you're like, I guess I could do one more. I got one more in me. We'll make this the big bang, We'll go out with a bang. Sure, let's go. And then you get all hyped, you go all in on this performance, and then you do your big performance, and like, okay, that felt good. Now I'll take a break. Yeah, I'll take a break. And then and then you're getting all this shit online, and then Donna is doing the shit, and you're like, okay, well, that's not nice. That's not good. I'm still gonna take my break, but maybe this hurts me a little bit more, so now I'm sad about the break, and now I don't want to even meet with my other friends because I feel super sad now. But I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. Like, I don't know if I want to go back to Ariel, because maybe that was just like the past me. Future me is kind of into something else, maybe.
Is he done yet?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm done now. Now I'm done. Devil's advocate. Maybe she was already done.
Did she really vamp the entire time I was pissing?
He legit vamped the entire time you were pissing.
That's crazy.
So
you can zoom out now. You can zoom out.
Did you pull anything then?
Not that time.
That extreme
strain.
I'm all stretched out from the first time. That one came naturally. I was easily stretching on that one.
You know what? You joke, but
it's the
100%.
truth.
You scroll down and it's like edit.
So update. But no, it's like you joke, but at 16 years old, I mean, there are people that get into shit and they like fucking Olympic athletes who do this shit. And I can 100% see like a teenager getting into this thing at a teenage and that being their trajectory in life. But also, I'm still going to recognize this is a 16-year-old. There was a lot of shit I was going to do at 16. And look at me now.
A glass blower.
I feel like you probably could still. Like
I could
get
a fucking impressive.
Like all the handyman stuff you do nowadays. I mean, it wouldn't be a stretch,
right?
To say that you also might get into.
I appreciate you have faith in my dreams, even when I don't.
You can do it, Fluff.
But like, I don't like I'm not an aerialist, so clearly my advice doesn't mean shit.
I believe
you can do it.
Thanks, buddy.
There's a trigger warning on this.
Oh, there are trigger warnings. They're degrading of a minor online. Okay. Mood spoiler. Hopeful for the daughter who has a lot of support in her corner. That's the general like formatting of
I've never seen mood spoiler before. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's one you don't see super often.
I appreciate that though, because sometimes I gotta know what we're getting into before I start reading.
Fair.
I mean, I like to enjoy it that way. I want to enjoy it like the people got to enjoy it. But yeah, like even if I look at this and go like, she'll bounce back. She's 16. Like she has her teenage feelings hurt right now, and they'll bounce back. It's still fucked up for a grown ass woman to be the cause of this.
Oh yeah, she crashed out.
She crashed the fuck out for no goddamn reason. What's very interesting about what you said earlier is there was a few other comments that were like, they wondered if Jane's husband made comments or anything about Jane in the outfit. Now, I think it's unfortunate that that's a possibility. Yeah, I heard that.
No, you didn't. Edits out.
I think it's unfortunate that it's even a possibility, but I'm also not going to let Donna off the hook that easily by giving her that benefit of the doubt.
Oh, I think it's still monstrous either way.
It's monstrous no matter what.
I'm just trying to come up with an explanation that would make an adult woman slander a child online.
I'll be honest with you. It's because it was her wedding. That's enough to me.
Really? You think that's enough to make her that jealous?
Have you read any of these other stories with me?
Yeah. I'm just hoping that
there's a weird, and I'm going to imagine that this is definitely, if it's not embellishment, it's definitely just the fact that the internet likes to hyper focus on the stories that are going to get told online are going to be the real fucking crazy ones, right?
Well, the stories that surface,
right? Like no one wants to hear about the wedding day that went fucking perfect. We like hearing the drama and the bridezillas, so we're gonna hear about the bridezillas, right?
We do.
And so
this is like a time activated bridezilla.
Yeah, it's a weird slow burn on bridezilla, isn't it? Because she waited till after the fact to like blow the fuck up. But even if her husband had said something. And knowing people do take it out on the victim more than they're ever going to take it out on the person who should be taken out on, like the lie about it. Actually, no, I guess that would still tie in, but it's like, yeah. Some comments from the first post. Some meat with skin says, this is a rare story on this site where everyone except the villain does everything right. If this happened to an adult or even an older teenager, she would probably still be hurt, but be able to see that Donna is the one with the issue. But at 16, she's still forming her idea of herself. It sounds like she's taking this all on as a reflection of herself. I'm not someone who can be in the spotlight. My desire to perform hurts my family. I would really consider therapy. You could say all the right things to her, and I bet you have, but at 16, it's hard to hear from your mom. Alternatively, and I'm sorry to say this, but is it possible that Donna's new husband gave Jane any inappropriate attention? That might explain why Donna is so upset when she presumably should have known exactly what to expect, although certainly wouldn't excuse it. If there were any opportunities for Jane and the new husband to be alone, I would really look into that because it would also explain why Jane hasn't practiced since the reception, even though the drama started a few days later. It is an extreme place to go, but I would just ask yourself if there was an opportunity for him to be inappropriate because she is withdrawing from her entire social life. When I was a teenager, driving up to the next city over helped me sometimes. Want to take a drive? It's still a question I ask myself when I feel stuck and hopeless. Go to the big aquarium and get cannolis at the outlet mall or something equally random. Maybe she'll open up or get out of her head, or maybe y'all just have a nice day. Lots of love to you and your family.
I like that.
Yeah. Someone else responds, Mistral 19, jealousy is horrible and Donna has just made herself look bad to anyone that came to the wedding. Also, just for reference, I have performed at multiple weddings and I've always had a white costume. It suits the theme and is no way comparable to a wedding dress. Reminder that these comments are coming from r/Ariel. These are Arielists who are giving this advice back.
There's no way comparable to the wedding dress unless the wedding dress is
an Ariel suit
or that
or just a bad dress. Another commenter says, I always see Arielists in white at weddings. Take comfort in the internet, OP, and hopefully they can use it as a defense with Donna. If she wants to be that way, just post the receipts of how she asked her what to wear, etc. if she's willing to say that for a 16-year-old, or let it go. It'll pass because I promise Donna will have some crazy things to do very soon. Some new crazy thing to do very soon. These types always do. The birdie is petty, immature, and ridiculous. First off,
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure they spelled that one correctly.
Oh no! I looked at that word 3 times. And I was like, am I reading this right? Yeah, no, that says birdie. All right.
I was going to let it go, but I was like,
no, I can't.
That box says suicidal.
I'm very glad you did because I legit looked at that word 3 times because I was like, birdie doesn't sound right. But birdie? Maybe it's a term Arielists use for people. Like, whoa, that is... Okay. I got it.
In your defense... Even though you blew up the text, it's still kind of small. So I don't.
If
the glare was fucking with it, just say yes.
No, my brain legit. My brain
giving you an out.
Rueben, it's doing it now.
Rueben, I don't have to take you out back and put you down. Just say what's the
motherfucker is just dyslexia. The dyslexic motherfucker is not about to get on my
case. And the racism comes out. It was only a matter of time.
I'm not going to have to hang you from a tree, am I?
Whoa. That would be like Old Yeller.
Oh, yeah. Go. Am I going to have to take you out like Nigger Jim? Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
We call him Jigger.
We call him Jigger. Fucking shit. Holy fuck. I'm gonna have to ask my doctor about dyslexia and if that can form later in life.
I got it for sure. If anybody's getting taken out back, it's me.
I sure have a little bit of it as well.
I think it just happens
undiagnosed.
Oh, jumping back to the last story for a second. Y'all remember how that the stand-in name was Chelsea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did that name throw y'all off a little bit? Like the spelling of it?
The Chelsea of it?
Chelsey. She spelled it SEY in that story.
She did?
Yeah.
I also wasn't really reading it much.
Oh, true. I guess I was.
It did feel weird to me. But I feel like I was reading a different word because I put an A in there.
That's fair. I couldn't, when I was first reading it earlier, I could not understand why. I was like, man, Chelsea looks weird. Like, no, Chelsea's a name. I've heard the name Chelsea before. Why does this look weird? Until someone in the comments spelled it this way with the A. And I was like, oh, that's why it looks so weird to me.
I also have never seen Chelsea spelled with a Y. So.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Anywho, Chelsea Sphere says, the bride is petty, immature, and ridiculous. First off, you must see that. Help her see it too if she doesn't already. When people show you who they are, listen. This is a painful but valuable lesson that your daughter is learning very early in her performance/teaching career. Just like any obstacle or difficulty in life standing between us and the things we desire, she has a choice to either let it beat her down or let it lift her up and make her more determined than ever. If she truly wants this and does eventually go on to be an aerial coach and a performer, she will face even more challenges. This is only serving to prepare her to face those. Making art is vulnerable. Sometimes people won't like it, but that tells you more about them than about you most of the time. Someone says, they directly said Donna wanted her wedding to be all about her, which is fair to an extent, but obviously not to this extent. And I think she was happy to have a beautiful performance done for her, but forgot that people will congratulate the performer rather than the person who hired the performer. Given how extreme the response was, I would be a bit worried, read what someone else mentioned about the outside chance that their response to what someone else replying to what someone else mentioned about hold on, I'm having a stroke, y'all. What the fuck? Read what someone else mentioned about the outside chance that Donna's husband said did something inappropriate, but my guess and hope is it's just a general attention thing. Regardless, it sounds like you and Donna's parents are handling things as best you can, defending your daughter, but respecting her privacy and boundaries sounds exactly like the right thing to do. I would, well done you. I would just continue to be there for your daughter in a low pressure way and make sure she knows she has safe people to talk to whenever she's ready. Maybe see if there are any non-aerial activities of any of her friends are down to do with her. Maybe something like rock climbing, which can feel less performance oriented and attention grabbing, but can still feel fun for an aerialist because there's a fair amount of strength crossover. Hopefully she'll be comfortable with aerial again in future, but I think just trying to get help her not socially withdraw too much would be good for her well-being for now. So sorry she's going through this. She sounds like a great kid and a very talented aerialist. All right, so there was an update. This update came a couple days before we recorded our last episode, actually. This was not that long ago.
This already the best of?
And it's already in the best of, yeah. People have gotten into like archiving stuff quickly instead of like waiting to get it in here, that kind of stuff. So update.
Is there an update after the update?
I don't remember. No.
Okay.
No. Before I get into what's happened since my last post, I want to thank everyone who took the time to comment. 2 pieces of advice really stood out, and I'll get to them shortly. Since my original post, Donna's Facebook post is gone. I don't know if she deleted it or enough people reported it for Facebook to remove it, but we're glad it's gone. She never apologized to us or Jane or even bothered to call, so our position to being permanently done with Donna stands. My husband and I made a post on my Facebook addressing the lies she spewed about our daughter, and we shared photo proof of Donna's text where she approved of Jane's white costume from links we sent, not to mention the song choice she sent us too. Better yet, Donna's mother reposted it on her account, which really surprised me. Donna's mother wrote that they loved Jane's act and that they disapproved of Donna's actions. My husband and I also made sure that Jane was okay with us addressing it on Facebook, and she said it was fine. Normally, I wouldn't use Facebook to address drama if aimed at me, but since this involves a grown adult attacking a minor, we felt the need to address it publicly because she disparaged her publicly, and Jane will remember whether we stood for her or not years from now. I had a chance to speak with Donna's mother since my original post on the phone, and she spoke to Donna again since our last call. Donna reiterated how she regretted asking Jane to perform, but she harped on the standing ovation that bothered her the most. Donna told her that she expected Jane to get some polite applause, but the overwhelming response really set her over because she expected the loudest cheers to be when she and her husband entered the reception, but that went to Jane instead. Donna and her husband also received a great reception when they entered the reception, but Jane's performance did too, and Donna didn't expect it. Heck, even Jane was surprised by it too. She never received a standing ovation from a solo act before, but Donna's mother believes that if Donna had asked someone to sing who received similar reception, Donna's jealousy would have been all the same. Someone suggested seeing if Jane would be interested in speaking to a therapist, given how hurtful Donna's comments could be for a teen. And Jane said she's open to it so long as it isn't a counselor at school, because as of now, she doesn't want anyone at her school or studio to know about the incident. She vaguely told the coach who helped her choreograph that it went fine. We will respect her privacy request as it's her right to control the narrative. But in the same vein, I suggested therapy for Donna to Donna's mother, since her reaction might be a bigger insecurity, and she said she'd ask. The other thing someone suggested was the possibility of Donna's husband or anyone making inappropriate comment to Jane during the reception that made her shut down and not want to see friends or practice days before Donna's post. My husband decided to ask her, and Jane said no when he did. If something happened, perhaps she'd be more comfortable telling a therapist with time. But on the bright side, she said she might want to try a different aerial studio because she doesn't want to answer questions about how it went or share a video at her home studio. So we will help her find somewhere new, as she asked. We hope she doesn't permanently leave her current studio because she has friends and coaches who are supportive, and she performs with that studio troupe at festivals/gigs. But I personally understand the need to sometimes go somewhere where nobody knows you for a break. The wording is not incorrect, but it's just weird to try and read out loud sometimes. And we hope that that will help her. She hasn't said definitely yet, but if she does, we'll take her. She still wants an extended break from aerial in the meantime, but even when she goes back, she says she may never want to perform again, would rather do it leisurely. One of the reasons she doesn't want to return to her home studio where she's a part of their troupe. She asked if we told her troupe coach that she won't perform with them anymore if it comes to it. And if that's what she wants down the road, then we will. Hopefully time heals this wound and helps her at least keep the friends she has there, but we can only hope.
Well, I'm glad I was probably wrong.
Yeah, like I'm very much hoping since Donna has already shown that she's a dick, I hope it's just her being a dick and not some underlying thing. But it's still the part where even if that is the thing, taking it out on the 16-year-old is not going to be the fucking way to go about it.
Extremely inappropriate.
That is wildly inappropriate because you're just making an enemy of the one person you should be supporting here, if that is even true. Or it could be something that's fucking innocuous. Is like, even if it was like upset that the husband made a comment, if the husband was like, man, that performance was really good, like Jane did a great job, and you take that to the fucking extreme of, she's trying to steal my man. Like, fuck out of here, lady. But it sounds like at the very, like, and obviously victims don't always immediately tell you that they're a victim of something immediately. So who knows? But I'm hoping that that's not the case. And given that Donna has reiterated herself that it was literally just the attention, I think this is just classic Bridezilla. This was just slow burn Bridezilla. Or time bomb Bridezilla.
Yeah. I mean, her reaction and her retreat from all of aerialism and the people who supported her in aerialism and not wanting to address it concerns me.
It is concerning. But also feels like a 16-year-old's response to world, like it's also just a teenager response to world problems.
Yeah.
Like just like
running away from it.
I'm going to run away from everything. So it's like I said this when you got back, but I said, she is a 16-year-old. The world, like, when it rains, it fucking pours with teenagers, and her world crumbled, and she'll probably get back to it. She might not even want to do aerial anymore. Like I said, you joked, but literally she might have just at some point decided, like, I don't want to fucking do this no more.
Think of the money and all of the job opportunities.
There might be a lot.
Honestly,
I actually don't know.
I don't know that one.
Neither.
She has a bright future with Cirque du Soleil.
She's been practicing at the circus.
She has been. Like, it sounds like she's pretty fucking good at her craft, so she probably would have been fine. But yeah, it's like our fucking interest in what we want to do in life has changed. People don't like hearing this, especially when they're younger. But like, there's a lot of things that about you believe right now, 100%, that will probably be different just because that's just how life works. That's just how it kind of goes. As well as the path of life is just not set in stone, no matter even if you are heading towards that destination, shit gets in the way and things change. It's just kind of how it goes. Yeah, I do want to applaud the parents though, because it is rare to hear just like parents handle things, especially when it matters of family, the way you expect them to. And I say it's rare in the context of reading a lot of these Reddit stories.
Yeah. And applause to the parents of Jana or I keep forgetting her name.
Jana's fine. It's just Jana. Just let's go with Jana.
Well, the parents of
Donna.
both Donna and Jane.
Yeah, the parents of Donna.
Because
being like, what the hell are you doing?
What the fuck is wrong with you, child?
Yeah, because I think that publicity going public with that, yes, my daughter is crashing out. I think that also takes a lot of courage too. Your adult child who got married at their wedding, right, crashed out on the 16-year-old girl and standing up for the 16-year-old girl.
Because she got attention for the performance you asked her to do.
Right.
Too much attention.
You got too much attention. Because obviously everyone signed the contract that said the biggest applause goes to the important person for the day.
And everything else was perfect. They were all in size 8 dresses.
No one had a fake tan. The Indian bitch wasn't there, so
they all paid the $500 for
the $500 vacation donation or deposit, whatever the fuck they wanted to call it.
Just one of the most insane things.
That was actively one of the most insane things I had ever seen, especially like in reference to weddings.
Call back to episode
fucking forever ago. I think that was episode 24. I think it was episode 24. Yeah,
damn.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. It's one of the ones I put out not that long ago. We're still working on it. We're getting there. Yeah, but like the way Donna's parents handled it and the way Jane's parents handled it, like you don't see that in these stories super often, of like the immediate cutting off of Donna by Jane's parents, of like, oh, fuck you, Brody, as well as like the really respecting Jane as a person. And the way that they're kind of handling it and kind of giving her space, and
they're allowing her decisions to be, or choices to be effective, and they're respecting them, which I think is really cool. I would like to see them encouraging her not to run away from things so much, but like at the same time, I think and I can't really fault how they're handling stuff.
I think
they're respecting her autonomy a lot, which I think is nice.
The reading it and like the context of around like the way they've handled everything else, I imagine that they are encouraging her not to run away. They're kind of letting her feel because this is pretty fucking recent, right?
Yeah,
like this has only been like, I think this post itself is only like 2 weeks past. Oh, this was 2 days ago. So there's only like 2 weeks past when the incident took place. So it seems like they're giving her space, and if they're given how they've handled everything else, I'm going to let myself imagine that they are not going to just let her sit and wallow. But it also sounds like Jane isn't really wallowing so much as she just doesn't want to be bothered with a ton of people right now, as she kind of figures this thing out. Because once again, it is a pretty, like, for a teenager, that's a pretty big deal to like have someone shatter probably the only thing you have to focus on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just like, oh, she ain't got no fucking job or bills to deal with.
That was probably one of the, most excited performances that she's done.
Yeah.
And for it to be kind of downplayed and shat on like that on social media, that would,
all that joy turns to shame.
Yeah, that would put me out too for a minute.
Which like one of the comments said, make sure to remind her like what the standing ovation she got. And don't let Donna being a dick overshadow everything else that went on with that day, because that should not be your takeaway with your performance, because your performance was, by all standard and measure, fantastic. Do not let one person's negative, very bitter response, because like this wasn't just, oh, this person just didn't like my performance. This was a bitter response over like some petty bullshit.
This person was jealous. Your performance was so good that it got just as much, if not more, standing ovations and applause than the bride. That's how good your performance
was. The same
was.
Bride who was clapping along with everyone else, by the way. Like, yeah.
Keep that in your heart.
Yeah, like that was nuts. I'm sure she'll bounce back. Like the mood spoiler said, she'll bounce back. That's kind of how these things go. But Donna, go to hell. Straight to hell. Donna was 20,
but not the cool part of hell. Not, we're drinking and
not the fun hell.
Not
go to not fun hell.
Go to bad hell.
Go to boring hell. Go to boring hell.
Go to super hell.
Go to super hell. Which I would say Donna was 23 herself, and I'm not going to disparage people that get married at that age, because I know people have gotten married at that age or close to it. But like that, it does show that there are some people that are not ready. You might be an adult legally, but you are not. Just because the government considers you an adult doesn't necessarily mean your brain is an adult.
Mm-hmm.
I fool. Like I fully stand on I'm 32 and haven't been married, so what the fuck do I have to say about this? But like I marriage before 26 is just not something I would consider with anybody. No, at the very least, got to be at least 26 for marriage. But
that's fair.
This person is extremely like, I don't even paint this as like a natural thing for any 23-year-old, but that Donna is just straight up immature. Like Donna is a child, and I hope her husband realizes that soon too. Mm-hmm. But we'll see about that.
I got one more theory. This one's
good.
Quick.
I need to take a drink.
This one's quick. Okay, listen. One more time. Last time. What if Jane realizes that that performance she put on was just so good that it caused that reaction of Donna? She's like, my power's too great. I can't do this again. Or I will just get everybody to like me and not anybody else who I'm performing for who hired me. Like I have the superpower of just being the best.
What if you perform for somebody so influential that they try and get you assassinated?
Right. See? Exactly. I think that, what if Jane just had that epiphany?
Like this could be dangerous.
Okay.
The power she wields is.
I got one for y'all.
Too holy.
What if? Okay, so we take that, and she knows that her power is far too great, but she does it, and the world ends up loving her so much that they name they name a star after her. But when everyone thinks it's just a star, scientists notice that this star is actually a planet on a collision course for the Earth. And when that planet gets there, and when the star gets here and they realize it's coming directly towards Earth, they realize it's actually a living creature. And now it's also named after Jane. So this planet is called Jane, named after Jane. And now everyone believes that Jane has brought this apocalypse onto the Earth as this thing sprouts tentacles and a giant fucking eyeball, and now everybody knows it's a living thing. And now this thing starts destroying the Earth by like sending out these tentacles and wiping everyone off the face of the fucking Earth. And now everyone is super mad at Jane, and Jane knows that now everyone's going to hunt her down because people are going to join cults and start forming new cults that truly believe that if they kill Jane, they stop the apocalypse from happening. And so now Jane has to and Jane doesn't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah, and then what if after all of that,
she refused the hero's call and her hero's journey, and now she's going to discover that she has.
No, and then she changes her name to Mary.
That she has to
shout out to anybody who knows Women Up by Junji Ito.
The sage,
I was like, you're coming from something.
The sage aerialist comes out of nowhere and tells her she has to perform for the beast to enrapture it with her performing abilities.
Yes, that's the only way the world can be saved. If she uses her power.
Aerial so hard that it takes the planet back out.
I was about to say something I was going to regret.
Oh my God, guys. I think we have a banger here. Hollywood?
It's ours. No, fuck y'all. It's ours.
Yeah, you know what? No,
we own it.
Back. Yeah,
you can buy it from us.
Give me a call.
We'll sponsor you.
Or y'all sponsor us, actually.
Yeah, we can't sponsor that.
We ain't got this. Nigga, we ain't got money for that. The fuck?
You think going to Hollywood is
I'm crying for real.
Why are you crying?
That was so painful.
Why are you crying?
It's so much bullshit, guys. It's too much bullshit to listen to in one city.
He's read so many good stories that just hearing us talk about this is bringing tears
It's hurting.
to his
It's
eyes.
hurting me.
It pains him to hear such a terrible plot.
Look, man, if you can't beat him, join him, bro. Oh boy. Okay. Woo-wee. All right, sick. So we got some webtoons to talk about here. Which one do you want to start with? We got Level Up Skills, Return of the Room Bound.
With level up with skills. That one's going to be the quickest, I think.
Shit. This one is a manhwa, actually. This is not a webtoon. We have not talked about a manhwa in quite some time.
Yeah.
So Level Up with Skills. In the year 2020,
Yep.
humanity faces a crisis as Earth is attacked by unidentified monsters.
I mean,
That sounds like a more cooler 2020 than we dealt with.
I would say it's not inaccurate.
They
We
were
were all in quarantine.
very
Yeah.
small monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did this come out? It's only 83 chapters and it's still releasing, so it hasn't been out that long.
No, I think this came out last year or the year before.
That's interesting because usually
it's weekly to once to twice a week. Most usually once a week though. So it's
okay,
Back in time.
right? Like this makes it.
Usually they release about 20 chapters to start, or at least when it gets adopted. Usually there's 20 chapters that are mass released.
Okay,
A long time ago in a place
far, far away.
I think it's been out for about 2
2020.
years.
Year 2020.
I remember it as new, but I've been reading it for a while.
That's interesting because this is already setting up as a post-apocalyptic thing, but it's in a, I guess, technically post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
All right, restarting. In the year 2020, humanity faces a crisis as Earth is attacked by unidentified monsters. Players prepare for the attack by challenging the labyrinth that appeared. They can choose 4 options. Easy mode, where anyone can survive. Normal mode, where you must work to survive. Hard mode, where only 1% could survive. And solo mode, the harshest difficulty. Kong Tai-san, the strongest easy mode player, cleared the labyrinth using an unconventional approach and acquired skills along the way. Others could not. Addition, multiplication, attack, nullification, ultimate judgment. But because he chose easy mode, his power was lacking. Unable to prevent the extinction of humanity, he lay dying. A miraculous chance appears. This time, I'll definitely become stronger. Challenging the labyrinth again. This is skill-based player Kong Tai-san solo mode attack record. That feels very translated.
Sounds like more fun than quarantine.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Less depressing too.
Yeah.
Because if you fuck it up, you die.
Yeah.
But if you need to see help about suicide, you can just go on. There are resources.
Call this number here.
I thought I was gonna fucking hate this one.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna hate this one because it's level up with skills. It's generic like multi-world the apocalypse, but with video game powers.
Nice.
But I find myself coming back to it, reading it very regularly. It is not gonna like knock your socks off, but it's really fun. It's really solid. Like, shut your brain off, eat some potato chips, like crunch it, and it's a pretty good read. And it's something that I've really enjoyed. And it's consistently been something that I come back to. It's not gonna make it to my top 10 list, but it's something that I enjoy reading every time I read it. So.
Okay, nice. It sounds like it's kind of in the same vein as Solo Leveling.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar. So you don't have dungeons. You have the system exists, but you have like you go to this dungeon. And it's called the labyrinth, set up by the wizard. And it's like
instead of different dungeons to face, you just face one singular place, but with different levels in which you could face it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
different levels, and you progress down as you go deeper. There are influences of gods, and gods can do shenanigans. And the Earth, and then every once in a while they'll pull you out, and then things happen on Earth, and they put you back in.
Okay.
So like you'll pull you out, you have to defend monsters for a certain period of time, and they put you back in. They pull you out, you have to survive, and then beat more monsters. So
I was gonna say kind of like Rimuru Labyrinth, but that's not like Rimuru Labyrinth. So.
No. I mean, it would be like if you could die in Rimuru Labyrinth, and Rimuru Labyrinth. I mean, Rimuru Labyrinth is copying this. Is copying dungeons from popular culture and putting it into the world that Rimuru exists in. It's like it's a circular reference.
Okay.
But yeah. But yeah, it's not as tropey as I was expecting. The powers aren't, like anything crazy, but it's engaging enough to come back to. It's interesting. The conflicts are compelling. The ideas of like it skirts a lot of the like casual genocide bullshit that happens in almost every single one of these that you read. And yeah, I think it's
when you say casual genocide, you mean like the eradication of humanity?
When I say casual genocide, I mean like there's a cave full of green guys. We have to go and kill all of the green guys. Because the green guys are bad because they're green.
Kill the colored folk. Yes.
Yeah.
So like those kinds of just like things that should be more examined, and then are just chucked into the setting because of tropes. And then like aren't there as much, and I think it makes a much more enjoyable read, at least for me personally. So
fair enough. Cool. Fair enough. All right, that was Level Up with Skills. Next one we got here for you. This one is Return of the Runebound Professor. Magus Vermeil was a scumbag, the most hated professor at a magic academy. Then someone murdered him.
Damn.
He never would have been heard from again if not for a lost soul from Earth by the name of Noah Vines. Transmigrated into Vermeil's body, Noah assumes the man's runic powers and extensive list of enemies. There's just one problem. Noah has to teach a class tomorrow, and he has no damn idea what magic is.
Oh no.
Is this one you've been reading on Webtoons, or is this one you've been listening to?
I started reading this on Webtoons, and then as soon as I got done with it, I was like, this is too good.
I have to enjoy it a second time.
Well, I was literally like, there's too much of a story here for this to be just like, this is an adaptation.
There must be.
Oh, you're like legit. There's no way this is just a.
Yeah. Like I was like, I've read plenty of garbage that is like not adapted, but this has like story. There's conflict. There's like character drama. There's exciting tension. I enjoyed the things that are going on. Okay, well, who wrote it? Because it's not a webtoon original.
There's no way in shit.
And I was right. I turned out to be correct on that one, that assumption. Nice. I know it's crazy. Well, I felt it read this very similarly to it's escaping my mind now. Give me 1 second. I gotta look this up.
Okay.
Arcane Ascension.
Sick.
Arcane Ascension is another one. I think they're starting to take some web novels that have been written by Western audiences that are heavily inspired by a lot of these things, like the Arcane Ascension, like Return of the Runebound Professor, and starting to adapt them into webtoons. I haven't. For me, it's just been a gateway to the audiobooks and the actual print books,
right?
Because I read 3 chapters of something like, this is actually really good. Arcane Ascension was also very, very delightful, and it led me to start reading the other one we're going to talk about today.
All right.
Well, actually, before I go, I'm going to give my official. Sorry. Wait, no, we gotta go. No, Return of the Rueben Professor has a really interesting setting. The magical powers that they adapt and use are something that's like imaginative and adaptable, but also like understandable, and something that like as a reader that doesn't get overwhelming. The use of like the way they use runes and the way they use magic and the magic system makes for really good reading. It makes for very clear goals. It makes for a clear sense of progression, but it also adds to the tension. It creates clear conflict. It's the system works really well with how they set stuff up for the plot and stuff like that. And then as well as the kinds of intercharacter conflicts, like you have just a guy who's literally as powerless as you can be while still having magic, having no fucking clue what's going on, having a family relationships who are probably out for his life, having like nobody likes this guy because he was the biggest sleaze, and trying to like come back from that as like a normal person. Does it say that he can't die?
It does not say that he can't die.
He can't die.
Interesting.
Like in a no amount of damage will take him out, or he will die and just keep coming back.
When he dies, he keeps coming back. Like it's not permanent. Like they're like if you really tried to kill him, you'd be able to do it because of how things work within the system. But he basically has a cheat. He got a super rune that allows him to respawn essentially.
That's broken. Nice.
It is fucking busted. But it's also like a really, in terms of cheats, it's really fun. It's not like it's something that allows him to do things that gives him the like really great potential. That's how I would put it. Like you can see, like this is just somebody who could, come out on top ahead of like everything because of what this allows him to do, but it also doesn't help him so much that there's no like tension when you're reading.
Okay.
That there's no like conflict, that you don't think that anything's gonna happen. And also the main character is a very caring and nurturing person. Like as a teacher, they identify as a teacher, they see themselves as a teacher. That's like their purpose. And so the relationships that they foster with other people and the threat that is posed to them by just being like proximal to this guy also adds a lot of tension.
Nice. Okay.
And so the conflicts all overall, I think it was really enjoyable read. Both the comic and the audiobook. When I started re-listening to the audiobook, they were like, we have up to book 4. Well, you can buy up to book 4 in print form. Audiobook's only up to 2. I'm going to have to wait a whole month to get the next one. And then like until like June until the 4th one.
Jesus.
I know. It's crazy. But if you catch up with all that, the rest of what is out there still available to read, just like on the original place where it was published.
Nice.
Which I think is really cool. So if you get into it, you can just zoom. I'm going to wait for the audiobook because it's a lot easier for me to consume it that way. And I will isolate myself less while listening to something than while binge reading something.
Yeah, you mean you won't sit in your car for like 15 hours after getting off work because you forgot to get the fuck up because you're reading?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, neither do I.
Never done that in my life.
Never a day in his life.
No, he's never.
15 hours might be.
It was only 3.
It was only 3 hours.
No, actually, like realistic, I think I probably ran a couple times where I spent like an hour to 3, between an hour and 3 hours in my car. Just
I remember one of them being
it was
at
in the
least
driveway.
2 hours of you sitting in the driveway.
Yeah.
And it's like, is this motherfucker okay? Oh, no, he's reading.
I'm just reading and I don't want to move.
Yeah. I also remember the time where you were home, you got home, and I stood outside of your car because I was about to leave, and you did not notice me for like a solid 5 to 10 minutes.
There's a reason why I only start new series right now in my life.
Fair.
Like if there's
things you can catch up on and not have to
0 and 15 chapters, I can start it. If there's more than that, I have to have like a weekend or a trip I'm going on or something like that.
That's fair. That's fair. Sick.
So this guy is reincarnated in a teacher's body. But he's continuing teaching. How does he know how to teach?
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
He has to figure it the fuck out, dude.
He's making this shit up as he goes.
Fortunately, the other guy was so shitty at his job that he can bullshit for a time until he figures some stuff out. But I would highly recommend just if you really want an explanation, just giving it a read. Because I think what he does is actually fairly clever, but also total bullshit. And so, yeah.
So now, my question is, this is so professional. My question is, he gets transmigrated into Vermil's body.
Mm-hmm.
Is there ever an explanation of what happened to Vermil's soul?
Yes. So
straight to hell.
Straight to heck.
All right. Okay.
Super hell.
We're gonna create a space here. It's called spoiler space. If you don't want to know what happens in what's revealed in book 2 of this, then we're not gonna fucking go over it. Some of what I'm going to talk about happens like in the first 3 episodes.
Come on, Bobby.
Okay, so when he was reincarnated, basically in their version of the afterlife of this setting, it's just a fucking line. You just stand in line until it's your turn to get reincarnated.
Are you serious?
Yes. You just stand in fucking line. And so he stands in line for like umpteen thousands of however many years. And he gets there. He gets to the point where like some goddess is like, okay, we're gonna fuck. He's like,
I would love to fuck a goddess.
We're gonna fuck. Oh, cool.
Sick.
He's like, well, is this it? What's next? And she's like, just drink some from one of these pools. You'll be reincarnated. You lived, despite the fact that your life was short, you lived a very good life. So you're gonna get sent to a higher plane.
The piece of shit mages or
Noah.
This guy? Oh, okay, Noah. Okay.
Our MC in the piece of shit mage's body. All right. And so
that's the higher plane that he got.
Was the runic plane.
The runic plane. So
as he's having this conversation, basically playing with magic, he gets sent to place with magic. As he's having this conversation with this goddess, some asshole god busts in and is like, "I want to fuck you."
Noah or the goddess?
The goddess.
Oh, okay.
He's like, fucking does happen.
Yes.
No.
Apparently.
Well, I think the literal thing he says is like, "Renewal, my flower. I found you again."
Oh.
Yeah. And they engage in battle, and both of their blood is spilled. Meanwhile, souls are getting shattered left and right. Some are getting tossed into the void. And he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta get the fuck out of here." So he goes down and he starts to drink from this water, which has been tainted by the blood of both of the gods, and that's why he gets his cheat.
Interesting.
So his soul, as it's reincarnated, ends up containing like fragments of both of these gods' power.
Oh, so it's not Vermil who had it.
Yeah.
Noah has the soul thing.
Now the webtoon actually I think strays from the source material on this one, because in the webtoon they have his soul go through a bunch of transformations and like go from body to body before he finds the right one. In the book, he goes to the person he was supposed to be reincarnated as, and he gets sucked away to Vermil's body. And then we find out what happened, and basically, outside of Vermil's body, he watches Vermil drink a poison health potion, and then he just goes into Vermil's body.
Alrighty.
And because that poison health potion is what killed Vermil the first time, it becomes his respawn point, but he's bound to.
Oh, okay.
And so what we find out happened in book 2 is what Vermil was doing was trying to summon a fucking demon.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
And he's trying to summon a demon. He did a really shitty job at it. He failed to properly bind the demon, and he also sucked in other things. Like there's another demon that was tried to summon and just escaped into the portal and just zooped out.
Sick.
But she becomes a friend. But there is a demon that he did succeed, a very powerful demon that was just like in his body. And Vermil came in with his god bullshit, squishes the demon's soul, absorbs some of the demon's soul, fucking... And then inhabits Vermil's body because the summoning pulled Vermillion. It also pulled the demon. And this entire conflux of factors results in Vermil having a larger than average soul, but also having a fucking demon in his body that's healing. Having the ability to access the powers of renewal and the ability to access the powers of, I forget who the fuck it is. The rune is called Severance.
Okay.
Because every there are things called master runes. They're like the regular runes that you get in your soul, but more. And basically they have a power and then they have a passive. And whatever the passive is kind of the opposite of the power. Like the rune Combustion also makes oxygen inert. The rune Severance, which separates, also binds his soul to the to the corporeal plane so that he can't enter the cycle of reincarnation like he's supposed to. And so, yeah, that, so the MC's main motivation is to not end up permadead again because he doesn't want to stay to that fucking line.
That is a long time to stand in a line.
Yeah.
All right, we out of spoiler territory?
And we are now out of spoiler territory. But yeah, so there's a lot of bullshit that comes into it, and it ends up, I think they do a great job of bearing the lead and having things add into like plot details and explaining things as things go. It leads to tension and entertainment, and overall I was really happy with the read.
Heck yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was
wild.
It was wild. Y'all should have, if you didn't want spoilers, y'all missed quite this tale. That shit gets crazy in book 2. Holy fuck.
Check it out.
Check it out. Yeah, no, I might have to start listening to this. We do have one more here, and that is Primal Hunter. So, interestingly, this does have a webtoon comic, but what you're going to be talking about is essentially strictly the audiobook.
Yeah, I haven't consumed I got put on the audiobook because when I was reading Arcane Ascension, they kept recommending this one to me. And I was like, it looks stupid. I don't want to read it. And then when I thought I had 2 books left, and it turned out I had no books left in the Runic Professor series, I was like, fucking fine. I'll buy the Primal Hunter. We'll see if it's terrible. Because I didn't want to start listening to Heretical Fishing because it was $50. I was like, what the hell's going on? I was like, fine, this one's reasonable price. I'll just buy it. I'll see if it's terrible. Like, it's $13. And I really enjoyed it. I shouldn't say enjoyed. I said I'm really enjoying it. I'm on book 5 now. Okay. In like almost as many days, actually. I'd say it's really good with an asterisk. The conflicts that they set up are interesting. The main character, I think, is compelling. At least if you're like a cishet male, like it's very much.
He's a shonen protag.
Kind of, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say he's an intelligent individual who becomes overpowered. He has a cheat, so he has all of those things. So if you put him in that I'm not sure what can you consider to be a shonen protag, which is why I'm hesitant to agree to it.
Power fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell by the name, the Primal Hunter.
The Primal Hunter, right?
Like that's the asterisk I put on it, because at some point, sometimes like his ability or his cheat essentially is a bloodline that he was born with, that he's like the first person to have this, right? Which is a really common trope or like idea in a lot of these novels or books like this, is like you have some sort of a power that's unique to you that you can pass down to your lineage.
Nice.
And I think his power that they give him is actually really interesting. It feels very distinctly human, right? It's not. Is this like, the one,
by the way?
Yes, that is the one.
Okay.
It's not like the power that he gets is, the biggest, baddest, super shadow mage of all the universe, or like, some motherfucker's legacy that he just downloads into his brain and he becomes the strongest ever.
Right.
It's enhanced instincts.
Ooh.
Right. So he has like a sixth sense. So
you're telling me he's Craven.
I don't know enough about Craven to say yes or no.
Craven the Hunter, yeah.
Maybe, but basically he can listen, and they're almost always reliable when it comes to like, will this kill me? Am I in danger? Like it allows him to function in a world that now is determined, function and I would say excel in a world that is now ruled by violence.
Okay, or
at least ruled by violence in a way that is deliberate and out in the open. And so it's the conflicts he gets into, the character himself. I said a surprisingly enjoyable time reading it.
Nice. You said how many books are in the series?
Right now there are 10 available on Audible. I don't know how many there are total.
Yeah.
All of them are pretty solid.
So far, yeah.
You said you're through 5 books so far.
Yeah, I'm in the 5th one right now, and I
just want y'all to know these is by Audible's estimate. Well, I say estimate. I think it's legitimate. This will be the time frame because they're audiobooks. They're being narrated. Yeah, these are like 20 hours a piece.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much he listens to these. And it's true. I know when this motherfucker is up and not awake based on when I can hear these audiobooks going on. Speaking of Audible, though, I'm at the page now. We actually have a synopsis to read right quick. So I'm going to read this or the publisher's summary. On just another day, Jake finds himself in a forest filled with monsters, dangers, and opportunity. It was a day like any other when suddenly the world changed. The universe reached a threshold humanity didn't even know existed, and it was time to finally be integrated into the vast multiverse, a place where power is the only thing anyone can truly rely on. Jake, a seemingly average office worker, finds himself thrust into this world, into a tutorial filled with dangers and opportunities. His new reality should breed fear and concern. His fellow coworkers falter at every turn. Jake, however, finds himself thriving. Perhaps this is the world Jake was meant to be born in. Also, I love this. It's called a lit RPG. This hit lit RPG fantasy series. I'm assuming it's supposed to be literature RPG.
Literature RPG or light RPG.
Or light RPG,
I'm not sure which one it is.
But I think it's shortened to lit RPG adventure.
I'm not sure exactly what lit RPG. Can you actually just type it in Google real quick?
Actually, yeah. Like a publishing?
I thought that at
first. I don't know if it's publishing
company.
What is lit RPG? Lit, I keep seeing the term lit RPG, which is a literary role-playing game. I know I could just Google it, but I'd like to get a sense of what I'm looking at before Google yada yada. A lit RPG, the current definition on that page is a lit RPG shall involve a story or character that exists in a game world or world with obviously stated game mechanics, i.e. damage notifications, status screens, yada yada yada. A lit RPG shall the character must progress in some obviously stated way, LE level, skills, abilities, and notifications. Someone had an actual definition. Yeah, people are explaining what lit RPGs are as a concept. They're not really giving us where the term lit RPG comes from.
Yeah.
But I think it's just literary RPG.
It looks like the definition they're giving it is basically like any RPG with like game like.
Yeah.
Basically
your Sword Art Onlines, your solo levelings, your
does a system exist kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. Which I've only ever seen this term used from Western publishers.
Yeah, according to Wikipedia, it is short for literary role-playing game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like a very Western idea.
Yeah. Oh, it seems like a Western interpretation of something that
doing.
But yeah, anyways, I don't actually know the origins. I'm sure there's been like stuff from
right.
And I think it's more basically the publishers are like, "Oh, you have this? Well, we'll put it in this box." But anyways, some of the insinuations, like when they talk about how repressed and how boring life was before the system, and how Jake like was, you know, not able to live up to his full potential because he lived in a society.
We live in a society.
And I want to be clear, they don't really do a whole lot of that. If they did, I wouldn't have been able to even start it.
Fair.
They don't do a whole lot of it, but those kinds of insinuations are just like, fuck off. Like,
right.
I don't really find that to be the idea that like it's some sort of like primal state where we're hunting, where it's like better, or like some sort of like closer to like who we are as like a species or something like that. I find to be very degrading and
butt
sniffery. Yeah, just not great. But the abilities that they give this guy, the story that they tell, I find very entertaining, and I find it scratches that the same itch that a lot of these other styles of like things do. And I don't,
but more before we move too far past, I want to make sure I understand the grievance you just kind of state. Is it the idea of like is it the same thing of I was born in the wrong era type of deal that it kind of bothers you? Or
well, I want to say that I am extracting themes that are attached to ideas outside of the text.
Oh, okay.
Right. That's why I have some sort of a grievance with it. Right. Within the text, if we're talking about just how they present it within the text, and we don't assume that it has commenting on our current culture at all.
Right.
The way they present his ability is that he has his bloodline, and bloodlines are something that exist outside of the system, and they have the capacity to be lame. They can hurt you, but they can also, if they're good, they have the ability to be extremely powerful because they don't obey the authority that like the system provides. Right. Everybody, even the gods in this universe, are under the systems.
Okay.
Right. When a world or a universe joins this multiverse, they get access to magic and they get access to the system, which allows a sort of like a progression and an evolution. And when I say evolution, it's literally the way that they handle the idea of like evolution, or like evolving as like a species or an individual.
Right.
Is literally just the ability to control mana and have a connection to like mana in your spirit better. And so because this bloodline exists outside of the system, it is like a superior thing, right? Like it elevates your being in a way that only people with bloodlines can be elevated. It's not power that you can access otherwise, but it elevates you. And so they present this as some sort of like super powerful thing that he has, right? Well, how did that exist before he was in the system? Well, he had to repress it to make sure that like he had to repress himself so that he could control his emotions, that he didn't react out of anger and like fucking go off the handle and kill somebody because they put him down, shit like that. And so in the act of repressing that, it made his life actively like worse for him.
Oh, okay.
And so like before he was able to have this reawakened and like come into like his own full being, his life was qualitatively worse. Right.
He can essentially be himself in this new world, this new system.
He can punch all the holes in walls he wants to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's like because of his character and like how they tell the story, it's not punch holes in walls, but also like it's punch holes.
It's punch holes in walls.
Cool.
Right. There's enough of a difference that I can enjoy the story, but if that's not a theme that appeals to you, or that like a fantasy that couldn't appeal to you, then I just skip it.
Fair enough.
And one of the other reasons I enjoy the series is that the character at least touches
grass.
Ass?
things that are plot contrivances that are kind of weird and bullshit.
Yeah.
At least acknowledge them. They don't go the mile for something that I think would make things like truly great, where it's a feature of there's an explanation. It's a feature of the story. It's integrated intelligently into the setting, right? And it feels natural. Instead, he's just like, it's a wooden door leading to a dungeon underground. That's kind of fucking weird. Well, anyway,
Anywho,
we're walking through the door.
It's enough of a fourth wall break that it's not like you're trying too hard. It's like you acknowledged it, and that's all I really wanted.
Yep.
Okay.
And they at least attempt to grapple with some of the ethics. I don't know. I don't think they do the best job of grappling with the ethics of a lot of the things that are tropes that series like these present, but they at least acknowledge them. So yeah.
All right. I'm looking at these like cover images, and it's giving me such a nostalgic feeling for some of the fantasy books I used to love. Del Toro Quest is one that immediately comes to mind, but there's another one that I used to read. Actually, there's probably a few of them that I used to read, and I can't immediately think of the titles of them. That I'm like looking at this, and I'm like, man, I really want to read this now.
Yeah,
like I have a reason to go to the library and go find these and hunt these down, and not have any time to fucking read them. But no, this.
Can you see why, after looking at the artwork on these covers,
why you wouldn't care for it?
Look at the webtoon and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh yeah. I can. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't have fucking Audible, so it's gonna throw a tantrum. I can see why. I can see what makes the difference on that, but I can also understand why that art style is so different.
See, I wouldn't expect like fucking the painter ass like taking this shit, right? But if you just hit the plus sign real quick,
open a new tab.
I know I talk about
me to do.
Yes, that's what I said. I don't know why we're making about it. Type in I know I pull this one all the time. A record of a mortal's journey to immortality. Right. This shit's released weekly.
True, fair enough.
And we go to the webtoon. See if we can find the the webcomic. I love this. I've come to understand that this is a kind of style that they go with here is much older.
Mm-hmm.
It's from a much older style of like manhwa.
Big eyes, triangular chin, long, lanky.
Yeah, painterly stuff, like lots of flash and lights and stuff that often obfuscate. It makes it look really fucking cool without actually having to do anything. Like an infinite amount of time. But they also leave themselves the space for when there's like a really cool moment or a really fucking cool monster to take the time and actually like draw that out.
Right.
Like, have a moment where you're like, whoa, this art, is
we see where the budget's
cool
going today. Nice.
Yeah. A lot like that fucking the one that I showed you the other day. By the other day, it was at least 3 months ago.
Oh, I don't remember this at all then.
But yeah, no, where the they had like really overall the style was like pretty simple, but like when they highlighted these gods,
I remember what
to
you're
the
talking
wall, and that art was fucking incredible.
I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
And that kind of a treatment is like I'm not expecting the most premium art, but when you take something that was you're
not expecting it to be completely redrawn it
doesn't have to be fucking like this shot's pretty
this does look pretty sick, but it's not the art you'd expect from
something that has been such a popular, at least example. Like if they want to take this and they want to do a translation and they want or an adaptation and they want it to be done well, this is not it.
I guess that raises a question though. Is like, is this being done professionally? Zogarth is the guy, so it is being done by Uno Day Studio. Yeah. So art by QMAC X, adapted by Hoodie Song, Created by Athon. Oh yeah, that's the name of the publishing. Yeah. Either way, I can see why this art will be a letdown after. Even not expecting that kind of level of beautiful illustration all the time, it's kind of going to be kind of hard to translate this over to what we saw. But like this is using much more Western style, whereas this is like someone's attempt at more anime. Such manhwa.
Yeah, well, and it's even just like the lack of like forms and everything feels so flat.
Yeah,
and it's just not. No, it's not.
Yeah,
not it for me.
That is fair.
Do we want to talk about the thoughts of the film?
I do, because so during the break, as we were setting all this up, like Fluff had mentioned that he knew of he was curious if the webtoon existed. We looked it up and it did, and because he hadn't seen it, he has no thoughts on it. And I just happened to see a Reddit link that led to someone else's thoughts on Primal Hunter. And I want to read through this and as well as get your thoughts. So interrupt me at any time you feel like. So someone says progression fantasy on r/progression fantasy. Someone says thoughts on the Primal Hunter webtoon. It is probably no surprise to any of you who frequent this subreddit often that yesterday the Primal Hunters webtoon was released. This was a year ago, by the way, as it is one of the first progression fantasy series to get a visual adaptation and one of the most popular ones at that too. I was eager to see how it compared to the books. Boy, it's disappointing. But how is it disappointing and why is it disappointing? First, the how. Jake is shown in the book to be content being left alone and being a loner in general. In the comic, he is actively trying to be a socially functional person, and that's not who he is.
It's just wrong. At least if you're talking about the original. Jake tends to be alone. He is comfortable being alone. That's like one of the central features of his character, right? Like he tends to be alone. He hunts by himself, like blah 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 blah. But especially in the first two books, when shit's just got off the rocker, he's been thrown in this thing with people he cares about. He is actively trying to. He goes off by himself and does things every once in a while. But one of his biggest regrets and one of his biggest character like moments and flaws is how he is actually running away from these relationships. That's one of the reasons why I first realized that I could actually get behind this series is when they were like, this character is alone because they're running away. It's a character flaw. It's not a strength.
Okay.
And so he does actively try to engage with people, facilitate, but he finds that it's really hard for him, one, because of like the traits of his bloodline, and two, because how scary it is for him, right? Like for all of his power, this is a continued theme of like social anxiety and not knowing how to interact with people, right, throughout all of the books. It's not because he's just a fucking loner.
He's not your edgy.
And so for them to have some of that complexity in the webtoon, I think is probably a pretty fucking good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's probably a good fucking thing. Just because you like the fact that he's by himself and hunts by himself and that's cool, doesn't mean you can disregard the fucking story.
We were off to a great start. He's just like your typical socially awkward start of a series manhwa protagonist. Keep this in mind, we'll come back. Character designs are different than what's told to us in the books. Jake is noted to be kind of fit, but he's fluffy in the comic. Whatever, though. But Bertram, my man is supposed to be like late 40s, and he's just young.
What? Sorry.
Also, like I can say, interrupt me whatever you like. Also, Joanna is like a jade beauty, even though she's supposed to have more of a motherly vibe going.
What did they do? Okay, I agree with that.
Okay, I see what you mean.
But Bertrand's literally a military vet that retired and became a butler.
Is that the one with the dagger? You were like, is that, or did you say William?
William.
Okay, you said William. Never
William's
mind.
a fucking mage.
Oh,
yeah.
That explains why you were so confused.
To be very clear, he's a metal mage, so he uses daggers, but he's not holding that shit with his fist.
Right. Oh, fair enough. Oh, so that's sick.
Yeah, but like Joanne is literally like fucking your mom, like an aunt, right? Like not being able to portray that in her character is just a fucking lack of skill of the artist. I don't know how to draw anything but the anime face. Or
a seeing of what happened to Aunt May in the Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay, but I'm okay
series
with Ant-Man Spider-Man for
everyone's okay
that's
with
a real
Ant-Man in
woman.
that one. It is a real woman, and a real woman we would all like to know. Fair enough. That is a big change. Now on to the story pacing. What the hell is even going on? If I was a new reader, I wouldn't even know what happened. First thing first, the group is a bit smaller than what it was in the books, but it's okay, I guess. It's a smaller issue. But why is the system apparition a monster when it was specifically a humanoid in the books, so it would be easier to interact with humans?
That's weird.
Why is the group suddenly constantly hunting so many creatures when there was a plot point in the books specifically pointing out Jake's frustration with these people being too mellow? Why is Joanna suddenly such a strong badass FemC, which she's not? She is like never mentioned again after the tutorial and is barely relevant after the early tutorial.
She's a lie.
Really?
Well, like she is not. No, I wouldn't say she's a female main character, but she is a central pillar. Like we see her evolution. She's a B plot.
Okay,
she's a B plot for sure. Because Joanne is at the beginning is kind of fucking annoying, right?
Fair.
Like she doesn't know what's going on. She's not adapting well, and she ends up getting overwhelmed by a situation while they're in combat and getting her leg just chopped off.
Oof.
I guess specifically crushed off. Like it sucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
And they try to heal her, but at this point they don't have the ability to recover lost limbs. And that's one of Jake's regrets / justifications for leaving the group is he both blames himself for the fact that he attracted the attention of the monster that caused that to her, right? And it's like, okay, but if I went back in time, I wouldn't have done anything differently. And I think what I did was correct. I think it was the best choice for the situation. And so I should probably not be with these people.
Fair.
And so that's one of the main reasons why he decides to leave the group. And when we see Joanna she introduces us to concepts like when you evolve your race, you tend to recover things that you perceive as imperfections tend to change.
Okay.
Right. So
a lost limb will become whole again.
Gets regrown. Physical features
change to ideal forms. Okay.
Yeah. Skin gets lighter.
They don't say that.
My eyes get blue. My hair gets blonde.
I mean, if that's what if you perceived like it as a flaw, goes away.
My Villalago.
Yeah.
Right.
Like one of the characters who's a sociopath, William.
Yeah.
Gains emotions.
Oh.
Yeah. Like or a psychopath. I don't know which one it was. Yeah, but like
so when you say perceived imperfection, is this based on what the society perceives or
desires? Like he didn't get why the fuck people cared so much about emotions. He didn't understand it, and he spent his life being powerless because of it. And as a result
so for
of those
him, it was
feelings, he developed the ability to have and experience emotions and understand them.
That seems dangerous to give to an adult.
Yeah.
Like that seems like a real fast way to cause a psycho break.
It does. He kills everybody.
Right.
But it's so yeah. To say that she is a B plot, so to be mad about her showing up, and she becomes a pillar of the community that she participates in. She's a member of the council.
Yeah.
She's one of the first people to unlock a profession. She's one of the first people to figure out that you can evolve and that you can progress being a profession. Because like as somebody who wasn't able to like physically participate in monster hunts, she instead found another path forward, and she was portrayed as a strong character because of that. And so I find she's definitely doesn't disappear.
Well, I'm reading this, and so with that explanation, I'm wondering if they're saying this happens in the webtoon.
Yeah.
Where she just fucking disappears, as well as why she's such a strong badass FemC. If they're portraying her as a badass FemC in this webtoon and then to completely drop her, and it sounds like she isn't supposed to be a badass FemC initially. She grows into one. And should be staying around longer. So I wonder if that's what this person is getting at.
Well,
or if they're just fucking wrong.
They might. I would have to read the webtoon to be for sure, but I really liked Joanna's character.
What I'm saying is, it doesn't seem like they're complaining about Joanna being there. They're complaining about her mischaracterization.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this makes me wonder if this is pertaining to the books, or if this is in the comic and that's what they're really complaining about.
Yeah.
is that they're complaining that she doesn't get mentioned again after the tutorial, when that's not what should have happened in the book. When that's not what happened, how it happens in the book.
Because, well, I can see it both ways. Because Joanna is just a woman, but she's a woman who adapts and rises above her situation and does the best that she can for herself. Ultimately, in the end, she ends up like not making it. Well, there's some stuff, but she like her fate is less than ideal. But she is an example of somebody who's doesn't necessarily become extraordinary because of these changing circumstances, but adapts and finds a way to make it through.
I would say I can see being upset then. Like, I would be upset if you took away that dynamically like built up character over time and instead just made her a wannabe fucking Captain Marvel for the beginning of her story, and then you never hear about her again. I'm gonna give this person benefit of the doubt, but they could also just be pieces of shit that don't understand strong female characters. She's acting like your typical manhwa FMC. Keep this in mind. Why are those 3 people hurting her? Where did they come from? Not going to mention the fact that she lost her leg from the board. That's just a nitpicking, am I right? What is TP? What is it used for? To wipe your ass. If I was a new reader, I wouldn't have known it. Oh,
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, there's tutorial points, but I know that because I read the book. And if they just put TP and they never fucking
and they never tell you that it's called tutorial points. Yeah. So the story is very rushed and wildly inconsistent with the book's actions. Surely it's all there is to it, right? Well, no. Apparently they just decided to spend a bunch of chapters worth of action that are completely new to the webcomic. Like, the fuck? By chapter 7 or 8, there's more webcomic exclusive chaps than actual Primal Hunter chapters. So why is it so disappointing? Well, my thoughts as to what happened. We know Zogarth wasn't involved in the creative process. Huge mistake. If it ended up right, it could have boosted Primal Hunter's popularity to unheard of levels. Just look at the beginning after the end. This series is published on
The End was an excellent webtoon.
Yeah, and it sounds like this series is published on webtoons. It's just its own point. This series was stripped down to the most basic of plot points and turned into a typical Korean manhwa to appeal to a webtoons audience because the team only knows how to do these types of stories. I'm frankly not going to bother with more of this webtoon as it is an unfaithful and frankly plain bad adaptation. So sad Zogarth couldn't or didn't want to actually be involved. It's just looking at the beginning after the end, he and what the comic did for the series. Yeah. Disclaimer, I dropped the beginning after the end midway through book 11 because the series fell off a cliff. I'm specifically comparing that, yada, yada, yada. That's about a bunch of shit I don't know about.
What are people saying?
I really don't understand the urge to buy IP and discard the original material. Seems like a huge misstep. It could have been a big boost. I agree completely. Couldn't get past chapter 3 personally. Felt like Jake was just another typical socially awkward office worker from any other Portal fantasy manhwa. They changed so much that didn't need to be changed. I understand they want to shorten it down a bit, but why did Joanne lose her leg to a person rather than a boar?
Wait, what? Okay,
spoilers. Okay, I guess.
But if Joanna lost her leg to a person rather than a boar, that fucking fundamentally undercuts that plot point and character moment. It's just shitty. It's just shitty.
Okay.
Well, and also I wanted to say that
oh shit. Zogarth replied.
Oh my god.
That or someone's pretending to be Zogarth. I guess we'll see. But let's get to your point before I read that out.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, that would just fundamentally undercut like a plot point, an emotional plot point for Jake, a progression plot point for Joanne. Like, it's just
that would just be a real bad way to go about it.
It would just, and it would literally take what was for Jake a decision that was like, because we as a reader know that Jake's going to end up fighting on his own because that's the trope.
Yes.
Right. We know that he's going to end up by himself in some capacity, soloing things because that's the trope. And in these kinds of situations, that's how you become the strongest motherfucker around, is you hoard the levels for yourself. With the... You can do it. I enjoyed this series because instead of making it being like, oh, and now's the time when he leaves the party because he's a solo badass, they were like, Jake really cares about these people. Jake cares about these people, but they put events in place that make it.
We almost made it. We almost did it.
They put events in place that make it clear that this choice is for the benefit of both himself and the people that are around him, right? Like, it's just not gonna jive well with this group because of who he is and how he operates, right? And not as like I'm angsty, but as like okay, I need to not be with these people, otherwise I'm either gonna get blamed because somebody is gonna get hurt because I trust my instincts and I follow what I think is right for the situation, and I don't seek input like people need, and that is going to lead to a breakdown in communication and tension that is just going to fuck us all up. And also the fact that he didn't trust Richard's gang at all. But the and then it turns it into like, oh, Joanna's fucked.
Damn,
that sucks. All right, on to the next plot point.
Jeez. All right, well, let's get to Zogarth's reply. Reminder, this is the author of this bad boy. So, I feel like I should address some stuff related to my level of involvement with the webtoon and the webtoon as a whole. As I stated, I wasn't overly involved, and I did say from the beginning when my publisher first pitched the idea that I wouldn't want to be there in the writing room deciding and approving anything. Why? Well, a few reasons. First of all, it's time. Believe it or not, it takes a lot of time to adapt something into a webtoon, and there can be a lot of complications. Andrew Rowe already wrote a great post in this thread about how complicated it can be and how much time and resources it takes. So check that out for some examples. Secondly, what the hell do I know about making a webtoon? I barely know why people like my book, and I have zero confidence in walking into a writing room and deciding what is best. Spoken like a true creative type. Hell yeah. I went into this entire endeavor with the belief that the people who made this kind of stuff for a living knew more than me about what worked in a webtoon format, as quite frankly, I would have just asked them to make everything a 1-to-1 of the book if I had full creative control, for better or worse. Would the final product have turned out better if I had been more involved? It would definitely have been more faithful to the original work, but I can't say for sure if it would have been better. Thirdly, they paid for everything. In most cases, the one who pays for all the production wants some level of say in how things are done, which would make the entire creative process a lot more complicated. At least that is how I understand it. With that in mind, I agreed that it would be best that my publisher/webtoon handle everything so I could focus on what truly matters and what I care about most, writing the Primal Hunter. Because in the end, that's the thing I want to dedicate most of my time to, writing the novel that I began to write solely for myself for entertainment. I like to write it and I think it's fun. I also doubt my current readers would have even wanted me to be deeply involved in the webtoon, as that would no doubt have meant a reduction in the number of chapters I could write. Would they have liked it if I went down to 3 chapters a week to focus on more projects? I honestly don't think so. Would they have liked it if I went down to 3 chapters a week to focus on more projects?
Maybe he's doing like 6 chapters a week or something.
I guess, yeah, maybe.
Which is crazy to me.
Because I'd be like 3 chapters a week. That seems like a fucking lot.
But if this is all he does...
But if we're talking about like webtoon writing, or sorry, not webtoon, web novel writing, where you're having a live feed of the author, I actually don't know if it's that.
In fairness, I don't know shit about writing books to begin with, so...
Yeah, what do we know about the writing process of a novel?
That does sound like a lot, but I don't know what his current schedule is, and if he would have to take significantly restrict the amount of stuff that he was producing for his core audience in order to add an additional audience. I get not one.
Yeah,
that's
I guess like while I say that's a lot, the fact of the matter is apparently it's not a lot, and it's a reduction to what he's already been doing, and I can see where he's coming from.
I do think a lot of these chapters are not chapters; they're chapters.
No, that's what I mean. Like I'm sure he's talking about individual chapters within each book. I still feel like 3 chapters for a book every week is a lot, but hey, fuck shit. What do I know? I also feel like I need to address a misconception of sorts. I never said I wanted no involvement, just that there was no requirement for me to approve of anything. I was fully willing to have been more involved than I was. I did give feedback on some things when asked, and there were changes due to what I said, but mostly they just did their thing. I was available at all times and responded quickly every time they sent something with what I believed was quality feedback. They just didn't really consult me much. Finally, while I will certainly say I don't agree with every change and voice this in the feedback I did give, the ultimate decider isn't me, you, or most people who have read the book. Webtoon is a platform that is way bigger than Royal Road or my Patreon. The app has 100+ million downloads in the Google Play Store. It's an absolutely massive platform with its own user base. It's this user base the Webtoon is made for, and based on how the native audience of the website received it, I think it's doing pretty okay. Thankfully, I can't tell, but based on what Webtoon said, the launch went fine. For someone who has read the books, things do definitely seem off, and as a pure adaptation, there is much to criticize, but as a standalone Webtoon, I don't know. As I said, I'm not an expert in what makes a Webtoon good, and as I stated earlier, I knew I would dislike pretty much anything that wasn't a direct one-to-one of the book. So to conclude, hell if I know what to conclude. Do I regret not being more involved? No, not really. I think my choice to focus on what I want to do and what my existing fans care most about me doing was the right choice. Oh, but if the novel ever does some fucking how get a movie or TV show, I will very likely be a lot more involved if they allow me. Zogarth.
So to conclude, I'm not going to conclude.
To conclude, I ain't no fucking conclusion. The hell? Yeah, that's an interesting perspective.
Yeah. I think that, but what he says makes sense. But based on some of the choices that it seems like they're making, I don't agree with it. And that, well,
to me, it doesn't seem like he's defending the Webtoon.
Yeah.
It's really more the idea of like, hey,
is authorial.
I don't actually give that much of a shit about how the Webtoon goes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to focus my energy.
Money
and I said, do you do?
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if you ask me, it looks like Webtoon fucked up. Because the Primal Hunter is very slow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Compared to the pace of most, well, I should say, for something that is translated, for like something that he's doing where he's like writing a bunch of a shit ton of chapters weekly for an audience, it's not, because those consistent updates are good, but it's the way it's structured for that, right? It's not structured for even the print. When I'm reading it,
right,
they do a terrible job of sectioning those books up. There's no the first two are the best sectioned because you had the first two should be one book
because you had him writing it for himself.
Yeah, well, you have to write it for yourself, and it's the lead up to the big boss. He beats the big boss, and then they go back to the real world. That's the first two books. Right.
Fair.
But the climax of that big boss, I think, is like in the middle of book 2, right? And then they go back to the main world. They don't ever end on a major climax. They might end on like some cool event that's happening soon, but like Zogarth takes his time with the things that are happening, the conflicts that are happening, and he gives them the attention to detail that he thinks are warranted. And so I could see that not translating well to a Webtoon, where the first 40 hours of what I was reading were a fascinating read, but it was essentially the intro. Right? It was essentially the first.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like, I loved every second of it. I actually really liked the slow pacing, because typically, like, shit like that goes like, is either the entire story.
Yeah.
The entire story that they write takes place in the tutorial, or it's over like that. Right. It's like, oh, so I went to the tutorial and I was the biggest badass. And so I actually really appreciated the change of pace that came from his writing, because it felt like it gave time for the characters to develop, for the consequences of the actions to develop, for us to get transitioned from the idea of like Earth as we know it to whatever this new universe is going to become, the potentials, the world that, like, in the tutorial he introduced to us to the setting that he had, and I think in a really effective way. And then he moved on to whatever the next conflict was, whatever the next thing that was going to be presented was, and I thought he did a really good job.
Nice.
I found the pacing to be engaging and entertaining, different enough that it felt like it was worth my time. And yeah. So.
All right. Jesus. That is a That was a hefty one. That's still kind of sick though. Like I'm actually interested. So are they released in book format or are they released like kind of straight to audiobook? Do you know?
They have a full translator, so I believe they're released in book format. So the audiobooks, I think. All right, let's just see.
Because I would be interested in kind of tracking these down and starting to give them like a read. Maybe I'll even read the webtoon since I'm blind to it and I don't really know anything going in and get my thoughts on it.
Oh, yeah, you can get them. It looks like they're real cheap too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like actually, well, you can get it used for like $10, but actually, no, I take it back. It's not real cheap. It's like $20.
That's still pretty cheap for a book.
It's normal book.
Depending on how big they are.
Normal book price.
Oh, is this Redhead? Is that?
Yeah, the redhead's probably Joanna.
That's probably Joanna. Still, yeah, no, that's very interesting. But yeah, that's Primal Hunter. That's like it gives me a lot of the fantasy vibes of the books I used to love to read, and I would like to see more of this. Kind of see where it goes.
Enjoyed like Percy Jackson.
I was too old for Percy Jackson.
You were what?
I think Percy Jackson happened like. Actually, Percy Jackson was happening alongside Harry Potter, wasn't it? Or the tail end of Harry Potter?
A little bit. But towards the tail end of Harry Potter. It was, so I read Percy Jackson all throughout high school. I read the series that came after. I very distinctly remember there was one book that I read.
Would have put me firmly in college.
Yeah. I very distinctly remember, though, that there was one of the Percy Jackson books that I read. I was really excited to read. And I picked it up. I started reading it. And I was like, this isn't for me anymore. Yeah. I was like, I'm too old for this now. Like the conflicts these characters are having, the things they're enjoying,
does not resonate with me whatsoever anymore.
And I was actually really excited for that because it was touching on they had a character that was my ideal fantasy, which is the ability to create, like the mechanical power fantasy.
Fair enough.
The superpowered dwarf.
Oh hell yeah!
I stuck with Overgeared, the web comic, way for longer than I should have because that is my shit.
Nice.
That's also one of the reasons why I really enjoy Roombound Professors, because it incorporates those elements of like creativity and coming to understand the things you're doing and like individual control and choice, customization and empowerment that I associate with like that type of a fantasy. It's also one of the reasons I really enjoy the Roombound Professor. But
fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, we got 2 more topics to go into today.
Well, actually, both of my topics, at least, might develop over time, so we can hold off, and it is later. So
it is, but I kind of want to hear it now. At least, okay, we'll hold off on the first one.
Even the second one, though, because
I know, but I want to hear it now because that sounds like tea.
There's tea involved, but again, I think there will be more.
There will be, and it's called an update. Let's get the fucking tea out the way. Let's go. We're good.
I need the tea.
We got time.
Okay. All right. 15 minutes. Go.
So this is kind of a Reddit style "Am I the asshole?" type thing, right? So here we go, and I'm gonna read this. It's relevant. But, names are changed and everything, right? So, am I the asshole? Should I send my boyfriend home for the holidays or stick it out?
You should always stick it out. Just, like, that's what anybody wants. Sorry.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Says, I'm Lily, a 21-year-old who's trying to figure out if I'm the one in the wrong here or if I'm just clinging on to hope that might not exist. I really need your advice. I met Josh, 22 male, on a dating app about a year ago. He lives in Pennsylvania and I'm in Michigan. Things started off great. He was sweet, caring, and willing to travel to see me. We became official pretty quickly. Josh is my first real boyfriend and I'm his first girlfriend. Early on, Josh opened up about his mom having terminal cancer.
Oh.
And how his dad isn't really stepping up to help the family.
Oh.
He felt unsupported and overwhelmed at home. So when he started staying with me and my family in Michigan, it felt like an escape for him. I wanted to be there for him. After all, who wouldn't want to support someone going through that kind of pain? But here's where things started to unravel. Josh moved in with me and my parents. He didn't contribute much to the household, and it put so much stress on everyone that we moved out. We ended up renting an apartment together. Since then, it's been rough. Josh had cycled through multiple jobs, getting fired for laziness or poor performance. He's currently working at Chick-fil-A, but barely earns enough to cover his share of the bills. I've had to shoulder most of the financial burden, and let me tell you, it's exhausting. Then there's the messaging. Josh has been weirdly close to a coworker who's 17. I told him I wasn't comfortable with their frequent texting, and he promised to stop, but never really did. I've caught him sneaking off to message her more times than I can count. And if that wasn't enough, he's also gambled away $2,000 on apps and maxed out his credit cards. To top it off, he somehow racked up $1,300 on a credit card I opened for emergencies. But then there's his mom. She's dying, and I know he's struggling. He's in a new state, navigating his first serious relationship, and probably doesn't know how to handle everything on his plate.
Where was he from again?
This says Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I want to believe in him and the potential I see deep down. Every time he apologizes, I want to believe it's the last time. His latest apology even came with a Panda Express and a cute little stuffed panda, which really got to me.
Yeah, you're 21, babe.
My family thinks I'm out of my mind. They've urged me to break up with him, and some have even distanced themselves from me because I refuse to let go of him. I feel stuck between wanting to help Josh and wanting to repair my relationship with my family. I've been thinking about sending him back to Pennsylvania for the holidays. Maybe the distance will give us both some clarity, and he can spend his time with his mom while I figure out what I really want. So what should I do? Am I the asshole for not breaking things off? Should I send him home? Or am I just fooling myself into thinking this relationship can work?
Quick question. Is this from Reddit?
No.
Okay.
But let's pretend it is.
Let's pretend it's from Reddit. Okay. Firstly, it should probably go to r/relationship advice.
Probably.
I'm not going to say a lot. Dominic, do you want to go for it?
Oh, no, this is falling.
Or I'm not going to say a lot this week. I'll say. It's probably not falling as bad as it looks.
I think.
It is falling.
It's falling.
One sec, y'all. What were you saying?
Dump the fuck out of him.
Dump the ever-loving fuck out of him. That's
Send him home to Pennsylvania and tell him he's never allowed to come back.
that would be nice.
No.
You are 21 years old and you're basically in fucking puppy love stage. I would heavily encourage you to listen to your family. You are in hilariously over your head, and you're at a point where I almost said Chick-fil-A. He works at Chick-fil-A, but Panda Express and a stuffed panda it's not the grand gesture you might think it is.
Panda Express and a stuffed panda is manipulative.
I don't even know if I would give it that. I think it's
you know what?
Very
the
much
bare minimum.
It's very much a child's idea of making up to their significant other.
Such a small gesture.
It's a very small gesture in the grand scheme of
gifts means something to you, which
I get it. People there's a lot of people whose love language is receiving gifts.
You're allowed to like that.
Yep.
And
he's allowed to use food and gifts as a means of making you happy or cheering you up. I'm not saying that, but this is not the situation in which can be fixed with
I want you to reflect
Panda Express and a stuffed toy.
On how easy it is and cheap it is to go to Panda Express and go to Meijer.
It's very cheap and easy.
It's very easy. I want you to think about,
especially when gambling away $2,000 on gambling apps.
Yeah, I want you to think about how the substantive impacts that his choices and behaviors are having on your life.
Yeah.
All right.
You are facing homelessness as someone who had to. How do I say this? Because I was going to say I was someone who was the victim of, but I wasn't the victim. But as someone who was thrust into the middle of a situation of what happens when a gambler loses control, it's not fun. It's wildly stressful, and it can paint that person it sobers you up in a really interesting kind of way. That's not a fun time. And I wasn't even like I wasn't even either of the main players in this situation. So like,
you're not responsible for him.
You are not.
You're not responsible for his emotions. You're not responsible for him coping with what's going on with his mother. His choices and actions are actively damaging you, your credit, your like financial capacity to exist.
I would argue there is some level of, and maybe this is societal expectation, but I would say there is some level of obligation to your partner to help them.
I get what you're saying.
See themselves and support them through a hardship. Yeah. But, and to agree with your point though, that does not mean the want to support him for a very difficult situation with his mother does not mean he gets carte blanche to ruin your life in the process.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way.
Mm. Yeah, there's a big difference between supporting somebody who's going through a rough time, making sure they have what they need,
and enabling
them to actively participate in bad habits and not be able to even support themselves because you're supporting them.
Yeah,
right. And just taking it all on the chin.
Mm-hmm. And if I had to guess, she probably has some, because the fact that they're even keeping up the apartment, she probably has some, I don't know, probably like a nursing job or some kind of medical staff job or some shit like that. And it's like, assuming you went to school for this, or even if it's like the luck of having to get in somewhere, because I know there's some like places that will just actively train you if you're not like trying to get into the RN program or anything like that. It's like, you really don't want to be in a position where you're losing your livelihood trying to mother this guy. And that's what it sounds like, mm-hmm. is that you are becoming his mother.
And if his mom is struggling so much, I don't know if he's here as like a way to escape from the pain and like the struggle of watching her go through that. But I think you should probably, regardless of your relationship, I think you should probably encourage him to be closer to his mother.
Yeah.
During this time. Mm. And honestly, the more I hear about and think about your situation, the more pissed off it makes me. Just like, you need to get out.
You got to get out of there, babe. Like, that's your first serious relationship. This is not how relationships should go. Mm-hmm. Especially at this age. You're also young. And to tie this back into what we were saying, like what I was saying at least about earlier, is like, you will look back at a point and realize like, man, I was fucking stupid. What the hell was wrong with me? But let us be the gentle like nudge of going like, let this one go, yo.
Yeah,
let it go.
Let it go.
Mm-hmm. But it sounds like it's also ongoing. So I think I'll be waiting with rapt breath before the next update on this next week. If there is one, we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. Maybe they'll post again.
Maybe they will. We shall find out. But hey, come back next week. Come see that. Mm-hmm. Do the whole like, comment, subscribe. We love y'all.
5 stars.
5 stars, please. You know what? I don't ever ask. Like I kind of say comment innocuous bullshit just for the sake of engagement. But like, let me know like what like old fantasy series y'all used to be into, or any book series really y'all used to be into. I'd be really interested in kind of seeing what everybody else is like.
We love some good reads.
Yeah, we love good reads around here. So yeah, hit us up on our socials. Y'all know the deal. Or don't. I don't even like using my socials anymore. I realized I logged into fucking Twitter for the first time like in forever. And I'm like, man, I'm real glad I don't have this as part of my daily social media life.
I hear Blue Sky is where it's at now.
I hear Blue Sky is where it's at. We might be starting making a Blue Sky. Yeah, we might be doing that. Mm-hmm. Follow the TikTok, follow the Instagram. I am starting to post more shorts and all that fun jazz, and trying to get more clips out there. But
yeah, keep watching here on YouTube.
But always keep watching here on YouTube or Spotify if you prefer to do it that way. But we didn't mention this in the last episode because technically it hadn't happened yet, but we have crossed our 1 year mark. Yeah. We have been doing this shit for over a year.
Let's go.
We also had our first video hit triple digits. Yeah. So I was really excited about that.
Thank you. We love you guys.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about that the Kingdom Hearts that y'all liked, but y'all loved it. But hey, I don't know. But yeah, congratulations us for making it 1 year. We did a thing and did not stop doing it out of boredom or just ADHD. And
the latter would definitely get us.
The latter would generally get us.
J'accuse.
But hey, here's to many more. I'm starting to hit a new stride. I'm kind of getting the second win on this whole thing again, and I'm really excited to do editing again.
Yeah.
I'm picking up the new equipment, the new camera. I'm picking up new software, upgraded software, I'll say, and
investing back into the business.
Investing back into this bad boy. So y'all invest with us. Honestly, liking and sharing and commenting helps a fuck ton. Way more than y'all actually know. But also, if you want to do it monetarily, we do have a Patreon that's currently only $1 a month. It will not be that way forever, so get in on it as early as you can, and we'll make that special for you as we keep going. So
become a zaddy today.
We can't do that one.
We can't. Why not?
I think someone already has zaddy.
Fuck.
Become an elder god. That's what we're going to be.
Become an old god, baby.
Become an old god, baby.
Bruh.
Join the Patreon. Become an old god today. The nobles come after. Because I don't know how long we're going to have this $1 thing going. It's going to be for a while, but at some point it is going to get cut off. So get in while you can. But that is it for us. It is late. I think we've been at this for like 3.5 hours.
3:10.
Oh, 3:10. Just over 3.
Discovering us in 2035 and just fucking crying their eyes out.
Sorry, yo. But you can join for $3, $5, or $10.
No, it's going to be around.
You can join us
50,
for point
100 or 150.
Inflation.
You can join us for 0.0053 tenths of a Bitcoin.
Wow. That's actually
Honestly, that's a lot.
No, that's
actually
kind
a lot.
of a bit, actually.
That's like $300 right now.
Yeah.
Is that like 300?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 300. That's good.
We'll take that.
Anyway, that's it for us tonight. Unless do y'all have anything else?
No.
All right. We good?
Yeah.
Stay good.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
But
Kiss.
this magic moment.